Alright, it's time. So, alright. Oh
It's
god,
time.
that's me. Has the audio been double looping this whole time? Alright, give me a minute. What I do when I do that is when I go to download the VOD, I'll download it at a future time. So the VOD starts at a different time without any issues. Alright. Detective Grimoire. Cool. Let's play the game. So the options are really limited. It has a slider for speech, so I'm hoping the game is fully voiced. Fully voiced point and click games are rare, because normally they're quite low budget. Also, this game is only like 150 megabyte, so I don't know how much audio you can fit in 150 megabyte, but it's not a lot. Let's go. Headphones strongly recommended. Sound is important. You will need sound to properly experience the game. Normally we talk about accessibility in games. And you know, I'll put like subtitles on or whatever in case people are hard of hearing. This game is just like flat out, yo, if you can't hear, if you can't hear, good luck. Good luck. Oh no. I know that there's a new one of these that came out in 2019, but this game is actually from 2014.
2025 last night. A murder occurred in a remote part of this swamp. A small tourist attraction, deep within the heart of the marshal.
Hold on. A tourist attraction? Here?
Do they have like a Ferris wheel?
I don't get it. Why would anyone come here by choice?
I've explained this already. This area is famous.
Famous. All I read was that some idiot thought they saw an alien here 100 years ago.
Get your facts straight for once. We're talking about a creature that's lived in the swamp for over 60 years.
Okay, so it's a 60-year-old alien. I still don't see why it matters.
If it matters to anyone, it's you. That creature is our prime suspect.
The murder suspect?
That's right. This is no Loch Ness Monster. You need to be taking this seriously.
No, look.
Hold
come
on. The Loch
How
Ness
am I
Monster's
supposed to
real.
arrest something that might not exist?
You've always enjoyed a challenge before. You can start by reading this.
Our case file?
I love case files.
There's not a lot of it, is there?
As
Give me it.
usual, we only know the bare essentials at this point.
The bare necessities. That's Mother Nature's recipe. Richard Remington. Founder of the attraction Boggy's Bog. Was found dead outside his office. Look at the size of his nose. Jesus Christ. Was found dead outside his office at 10:45 last night. Exact cause of death unknown. 3 small wounds to the chest suggest an attack from a clawed creature. So we have his body. I like how they included his nose in the chalk outline. Slime around the wound and footprints found at the scene suggest the culprit was Boggy, the legendary swamp creature. Any of the 7 other people present in the swamp last night could hold vital information. There's the wounds, I guess. There's the marks, and there's this. Why is he standing in a bucket? Alright. First things first. We can't even see the suspect's feet. How do we even know that these are his feet? Also, claw marks. Doesn't even have claws. It's got tentacles.
Our murder victim, Richard Remington, he was in charge of this, tourist attraction. Boggy's Bog? What a name.
Boggy is the name of our creature. Well, nowadays it is.
You mean that stupid cartoon character? I've heard of him. That thing is our murder suspect?
There's more to Boggy than the cartoon character, I promise you. This is the place it all began. You'll find out soon enough.
Will Detective James ever actually stir his tea? Okay.
Your case file's in the
Swamp
top
full of
right.
secrets.
You can look at your clues and suspect profiles in here, when you've collected some, of course. I'll stay and guard our boat, so if you're confused, come back here and I'll help you.
Alright, cool.
A simple wooden dock. Looks like it can just about hold my weight.
Sweet.
That's where I need to go. I can switch to walk mode with the button in the bottom right. Oh, and if I'm feeling confident, I can turn off those sparkly hint icons in the options menu.
Alright, we're turning off sparkly hint icons. What is this? Alright, this is clues. This is suspects, I'm guessing. This is a map. And when we're in this menu, we can just use this to like switch between. Okay. Cool. Fairly straightforward. I guess we just talk to as many
It's an
people
old
as
statue of
possible,
Bobby.
right?
His feet are hidden in a bucket of murky water.
Is the game incredibly loud, or is it just me? His feet are hidden in a bucket of murky water, so that's like his official thing.
Wow, you didn't get lost yet.
No, I only just got here. Who are you?
You don't remember.
Huh?
Of course,
How would we remember?
You're not great at remembering. I should be offended, though.
Never seen you before. You're that weird girl from the fairground. I remember you, but I've been trying to forget. I don't know if this is related to a comic or anything, or if there's like a show or a YouTube channel. Maybe she's from that. I don't know what the answer is. There's only one other game for this series on Steam, and it came out after this game.
I've never seen you before.
Saw your hat blow through here already. You must be slow, if it wouldn't even wait for you.
Well, if you'll let me, I'd better go after it. You can wait here.
Why does it look like he has
You're the
cleavage?
last. I would never forgive myself if I let you go through without the map.
You have a
Look at
map
his
of the
chest there. It
swamp?
looks like cleavage.
Not anymore. I'm giving it to you.
You should really stay here. It's dangerous. There's been a murder. Although I suppose you
See?
know all about it already?
They're saying it was the creature, but it can't be him. He doesn't seem like a killing sort of creature. Nope. He's a different sort of creature.
Wait, what do you mean? If you... she disappeared. I might pretend I imagined her.
Well, at least we got a map.
Is an opportunity for a photographic memento. The two characters are an explorer and Boggy himself. Are they... fighting?
They're having a nice hug. So this is just the map. I'm guessing we can fast travel. Yeah. So you can probably fast travel instead of navigating using the walking thing eventually. I don't think there's anything else here, so let's just go.
my luck, the gate's closed. Looks like I can move these metal latches around. I should just have to slide at least one of them out of the bottom of the lock. Then I'll be able to get through this gate, probably.
Puzzle? Oh wow, an actual puzzle. What the hell is this puzzle? Oh my god.
Hey, nice.
Okay.
This is the tourist attraction? The whole thing just doesn't make sense to me. Let's do some thinking. Drag any two stray thoughts into those slots at the bottom. And flick through the connecting statements in between to make a sentence. Tap the confirm button to try it out. I just have to focus my thoughts and reach a conclusion. Boggy's Bog seems like the middle of
That
nowhere.
little girl is... Oh wait. Boggy's Bog is far too remote. Oh, the swamp is far too remote for Boggy's Bog to make money.
The swamp is far too remote for the tourist attraction to make any money. It's really bugging me. What's the story behind this place?
Where can I do that again? yeah, where do I do that again? It's called thoughts, right? Yeah, I don't know where I can do that again. Okay, maybe those parts you're just meant to maybe you're just meant to like click the right thoughts and it lets you through that section, and it's not something you can go into like
Apparently, there's a museum to the left and a cafe to the right.
get more info.
I'm not hungry though. This place is putting me off food.
What are the audio levels like? I'm gonna click this again.
Apparently, there's a museum to the left and a cafe to the right.
I think I'm loud enough. I think the game's maybe a little bit too loud, but it's mostly the music, right? Yeah, it's mostly the music and the speech. I mean the ambient.
Apparently.
All right, let's go to the museum.
It's a.
Oh yeah, shit.
I
Need
should
to
visit
click
the
this.
crime scene before I do anything else. I think Officer James said it was to the west. These flower petals seem a little out of place, lying on the ground over there.
I kind of feel like my audio levels are really messed up. Let me click this and just double check. I'm sorry. Can I make him talk?
A rather prominent tree stump looming over the wooden pathway. It's hard to
I think
ignore.
my audio levels are like a little bit messed up today. I apologize for the first 10 minutes of the game being a little bit loud.
I
10?
should visit the crime scene before. I think Officer James.
Does he want me to keep going all the way through? Alright, here's the crime scene. So, both sets of footprints go up to the house. And then only he was thrown through the window. Because only the bog man's footprints come back from the house. So the guy came from the dock, was chased by the creature, but I don't know.
There are bizarre footprints with 3 toes leading up to the office door, and back down into those reeds by the water. It's Remington's office, but I don't think I have a choice. So, this is where they found Remington's body.
Okay. That doesn't really add anything though, right? Generously donated by the mysterious little girl at the entrance. When I'm exploring the swamp, I can access the map from the map button. Okay.
I don't like it here. What's this? There's a lockpick dropped amongst the weeds down here in the water.
I just randomly clicked that. Maybe we need the sparklies on.
I just have to work out which vine to break and tap that button.
This is a very easy puzzle, right?
That's the one, but I wonder where this lockpick came from.
Lockpick discarded near the entrance to Remington's office, covered in a strange liquid slime. Most likely used by the murderer to break into Remington's office. Why would you need to break in?
The strange foot. Maybe I can move some of them out of the way.
I think I'm gonna turn on the sparklies, because I think the sparklies are necessary.
A strange pair of green flippers, badly hidden in the reeds outside the office.
So that kind of confirms it's a costume. Right? Let's turn on the sparklies. I know it's like, feels like cheating, but in a way, I feel like some games would have the things that are prominent show up some way. Like there would be a brighter color or whatever. In the Zero Escape games, the backgrounds are like CG and then the items in front are rendered slightly different.
I can't get in here without a key. Maybe if I get desperate later on.
Can't I use the lockpick on the door? I don't have an inventory of items, do I? Yeah, I can't use the evidence interesting.
There's an open window above Remington's body. One of the curtains is ripped and hanging on the outside.
Okay.
There's an open window. What? I don't. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe we keep the sparklies on.
Some suspects.
Yeah, like why else would I click up here, you know? Like I wouldn't know to click up there if it didn't have sparklies, because it doesn't look any different.
Let's get this investigation started. There's a narrow path here leading up that hill and through the trees. It doesn't look inviting. I'm not sure it's part of the tourist attraction.
There's no way I would have gotten that little hint without the sparkly stuff. Let's talk to the cameraman first.
Alright, let's see. Another suspect for my notebook. No, I'm sorry. Did I say that bit out loud?
Maybe not. Maybe I can hear your thoughts.
So would you be able to answer my questions before I asked you?
Would you be able to question my answers before I tell you?
I could try.
I'm Bobby Burl, professional cameraman. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Detective Grimoire. I'm here to investigate last night's murder. Obviously.
Grimoire. Strange. Is that your first name?
I think I want to say this. It's my second name. Detective is my first name.
It's my second name. Detective is my first name.
What should I talk about? Your job last night? Present a clue. Present a profile. Let's ask him about Remington.
You should ask someone else.
So you already told me what you do, but now, why would a cameraman be working here?
I go where I'm needed. Vincent wanted to come to the swamp, and I was happy to help.
Vincent Vanderpeer. You mean that man standing on that rock over there?
That's right. I've worked with him for many years.
Is he your boss?
Oh, I don't know about that. We work together. He's tried to film here before, but he never got permission until about a week ago.
Oh, really? But why did you want to come here in the first place?
If you're looking for a reason to write down in your notebook, I'm sure he can tell you if you ask him. I'm just the guy who carries around the camera.
You always carry that camera with you?
Most of the time.
I want to ask him about the lockpick.
What is it? Some evidence from last night's murder?
You were here yesterday, I presume?
Plain dumb.
Last night?
Yes, I was.
Here, in this clearing?
No, I was over at the cafe getting something to eat. Richard Remington was there too.
Remington? You saw him last night? Just before the murder?
That's right, I saw him.
So it's
He
before
left the cafe
8:30.
looking rather ill. I offered to help, but he just wanted to go back to his office. He
had
looked like he had
diarrhea.
a lot on his mind.
He was ill yesterday?
Perhaps it was something he ate.
Alright. Can I present a case file?
That's great.
Let's ask him about himself.
A prolific cameraman with exceptional skills at carrying heavy equipment.
He does seem like a pretty buff dude. Cool.
Yes, do you have a message for me?
No. I don't think so.
Then why are you here? I'm incredibly busy.
You don't look it. Who are you, anyway?
What a question. You're serious? I am Vincent Vanderpeer,
The famous movie director?
the artist, the visionary, the auteur. I'm a man of many talents.
Let's hope you have a talent for answering questions. That is a very talented beard you've got. Let's be on his nice side.
That's great. Let's hope you have a talent for answering my questions.
You're in my
Yeah.
light. Could you take a few steps back, please?
I'm in his light.
Then I'll be too far away to
the
talk
fuck?
to you.
I know.
Can anyone just walk in here and start filming?
The ghost from Haunt the House. The developers of this game made Haunt the House. They made Detective Grimoire, and they made another Detective Grimoire sequel in 2019. That's pretty cool. Let's say you only recently got permission. Should we be doing funny stuff? Let's say a ghost forced my eyebrows to leave the swamp forever.
A ghost forced my eyebrows to leave the swamp forever. Oh, that doesn't...
Vincent forced Remington to dress up as Boggy. I think what we're meant to be saying...
Vincent Vanderpeer forced Bobby Burl to dress up as Boggy. Oh, that...
Yeah. Let's say... Only recently got permission from... From who, though? Richard?
Vincent Vanderpeer only recently got permission from Richard Remington to film here in the swamp. I wonder if Mr. Vanderpeer has been breaking rules.
Because Remington's in
Or
charge of
maybe he'll
the
have an
attraction.
excuse.
That's why he can give permission. I was thinking, like, you know, who would give him permission, but it has to be Remington, the murder victim. What the hell is all this? Challenge unlocked. Wasn't given permission to film in the swamp. The challenge topic will now be available when talking to Vincent to find the truth. Oh, that was an internal thought. Ah.
Oh?
And then he also has a challenge permission. So what if we present the
I'm
flippers?
sorry, I have not seen that before.
What if we present... I guess we can't present the crime scene as evidence. I guess that's what we need to do. We need to get these little padlocks on every person. Let's talk to Vanderpeer again, and we'll click the challenge.
I heard this isn't the first time you've tried to film here.
Where? In the swamp? What are you talking about?
Remington has denied you permission in the past. Remington never found out about your previous attempts. You tried to film here before, but... Let's go with
Remington
this.
has denied you the filming permission in the past.
Oh, that. Nothing but the natural process of being in a profession like mine. Every situation simply requires the right approach before the gears start turning smoothly. You understand, I'm sure.
Why did Remington not want you filming here? And why did he change his mind?
It wasn't even up to him. This area is protected, you know.
That's what
There
I
are
was
certain
thinking.
rules, certain regulations. I encounter this kind of thing all the time, really.
That doesn't explain why he changed his tune.
Because I thought that Remington wasn't in charge of giving people permission to film, because I thought the person who would be in charge would be like Parks and Recreation, some wildlife group, the government, the police, you know, something like that, the landowner, if, I don't know, national parks.
It's a little suspicious.
Why would you say that?
A famous movie director suddenly gets his way. I wonder how that happened. Time to use my notebook. Just drag an item onto the paper to draw the idea.
Kilo 7 Scotland, Kilo 7 Scotland, Kilo 7 Scotland, Kilo 7 Scotland.
What the fuck are those emotes? Turtle, thanks for the 53-month resub. Wow. Those fucking emotes, dude. Is this somebody's channel? Oh wow, it's an actual channel. Good shit. Good shit. Help me solve this murder, Turtle. Channels you've never seen before. I've been gifted things to channels that I'm like following, but I've rarely ever been in. I got one from a VTuber that I didn't even know I was following, and when I looked it up, they didn't used to be a VTuber. They only started being a VTuber recently. And I got like all these fucking VTuber emotes. We're detecting, by the way. Saints Row isn't out for another 3.5 hours. So I'm gonna play it tomorrow, because obviously I can't play it before it's out. So we're doing this detective thing. Some dude on an island got murdered by a swamp creature. And that's about it. Dragging him into the space to draw it. I think he offered him money, right? Because where we are is in the middle of the swamp, and there's a there's an attraction in the middle of the swamp, but it's too far in the middle of nowhere to be like making any money. So I think oh fuck, I forgot his name. Vanderpeer. I think Vanderpeer gave money to Richard Remington.
Right.
I don't think he
That's
has a
the one.
spouse. But you're right. I think, isn't it something like, it's a high number. It's like 40% of murder cases. It's the spouse or a relative.
I think you bribed Remington to get the filming rights.
Well,
You haven't missed
bribe
anything,
is
by the
a
way. We're only
strong
like 20
word.
minutes in.
It was just a little arrangement between friends. Nothing worth getting upset about.
Fairly easy game.
I simply promised him a cut of my next movie's profits. It made sense, since he owned the area anyway. Just a favor for a favor.
So you would have owed him money.
Only a small percentage, simply out of courtesy. And not for a long time, either.
Okay. I guess we ask him the other
What's
questions.
a famous guy like you doing in a place like this?
Quite. I'm sure you're thinking, why doesn't he send an assistant? But that's not the way this director works.
But what are you doing?
I'm feeling, I'm experiencing, I'm discovering this area.
Is
the
he location
history,
scouting
the
for a film?
atmosphere. It's the perfect setting for my next film.
Ah, he's
I'm on a
location
scouting
scouting.
mission to get
Yeah.
to know this swamp before I begin work on the latest masterpiece in a string of masterpieces.
You're making a movie about Boggy. About the swamp creature?
Of course. He's a fascinating individual,
Boggy.
isn't he? So mysterious.
No idea. I haven't met him yet.
What
Is
up,
that
Sandals?
your cameraman over there?
What up?
Yes, that's right. Bobby Burl, my faithful right-hand
Good
man.
old Bobby.
Well, faithful enough, you know.
No, I don't know.
He's an expert cameraman. Really knows his trade, of course. But he gets a bit muddled when it comes to priorities.
Like how? You mean he's lazy? He doesn't look lazy. He looks a bit scary.
Oh no, nothing of the sort. He just has a little hobby that sometimes distracts him from his work.
secret hobby.
But I wouldn't want
Maybe he's a
anyone else
furry.
shooting for me.
Alright, let's ask him about last night. See, these two things here, I'm not sure if these are things we unlock, or if these are like, just, you know, blank choices. Because this was the main thing. The main thing is getting the challenge for each suspect. There's 9 suspects, and I think you have to break the challenge on each of them to solve the case.
Were you working yesterday? Here in the swamp, I mean?
Indeed I was working. Very hard indeed. Well into the night.
Hard work, is it? Getting to know the swamp?
You jest. But yesterday I was getting even more involved than usual, yes. Difficult to comprehend, I know.
So what kind of work were you doing?
Well, I was, unable to find my faithful cameraman last night.
Okay.
He had hidden himself quite completely from view.
But he was in the
Bobby
cafe.
Burrow, right? Did you need him to film for you?
Always. But being a resourceful type of man, I stepped up and took on the responsibility myself. I was filming in this exact area, in fact.
You were filming? Last night? Here?
Yes, at the time of the murder, I believe.
Without
but
the
wait,
camera.
I know what you're thinking.
Without the
Now,
cameraman,
don't
I mean.
forget, I'm not here to shoot some experimental documentary. I have no interest in late-night surveillance footage.
Did you see anything at all? What is it you were filming?
The water. I was filming the water. It's a fascinating subject, one that has me captivated to the point where
So, you didn't see anything useful? Got excited there for a minute.
Nothing useful to you, my good detective, but there are some odd sounds on the audio track.
Oh,
Nothing but
the game
wild
said
animals
the
going about
audio
their
is very
nighttime
important.
Rituals, I'm sure.
If you can't hear,
Is
this
there
game is
something I
like
should ask the
way
cameraman?
difficult. You know, it's not like a inclusive game where they offer you any assistance if you're hard of hearing or whatever. It says you need to use headphones, and it says, like, you know, audio is very important. Alright, this is like a little detective thing we say, where we have to ask a thing. Is there something I should ask the cameraman? So, Vanderpeer told me that Burl's camera that Burl was nowhere to be found last night.
Vincent Vanderpeer told me that Bobby Burrell was nowhere
like how
to
are
be
you meant
found
to
last
play the
night.
game if it
Simple
says
enough.
like, you know,
What was Mr. Burrell
I think
doing
it's gonna
last
be like,
night
you
that
know,
meant he couldn't help out his boss?
you hear a noise on the left and then you have to click on the left to go down the left path or whatever, right? Which is, you know, if you can't fucking hear, it's gonna be dog shit. Or if you're playing on like shitty laptop speakers as well. I mean, it's not just people who are like hard of hearing. Burrell was not able to help Vanderpeer with filming last night. Okay, so that's his challenge topic. Footage recorded last night at the exact time of the murder, filmed by Vincent Vanderpeer in the clearing of the swamp. I think this is going to be the sound thing. There's nothing to see, but various clues can be heard on the audio track. Listen to them in order. Tap on a sound to hear it play. So I would say this is I think what this is the Richard Remington, the guy that was murdered on a dockyard, right? And it looks like he was thrown from his house. This is basically all you've missed. I think this is Remington creaking on the dock. He sees the monster and he's scared. He shoots at the monster. He clangs to get into his house, and then the monster chases him into his house, so he screams again. The ripping is the curtain ripping on the window. The thud is him falling out and hitting the dock. And then the clang is the creature leaving. I think that's what this is. Cool.
Oh?
Let's talk to Burrell.
I heard from Mr. Vanderpeer over there that you were nowhere to be found last night.
Didn't I say I was at the cafe?
He did.
Yeah, you did. But your director needed you for some filming, and he couldn't find you. What were you doing that was so important?
Well, let's see. After I ate, I had a walk around the swamp. I didn't have my camera, so I was free to stretch my legs for once.
Where was your camera? Don't you carry it around with you all the time?
No, not all the time.
He told me he did. It was broken and being repaired at that point. You left it with Vanderpeer and he used it instead. You lost it in the swamp and he went looking for
You
it.
left it with Vanderpeer, and he used it instead that night.
That's right, he was looking after
I think
that
he was
camera.
just trying to loosen up
So
his
I went
his
for a
stool,
late-night stroll.
right?
This place is beautiful in the evenings.
You just
He's trying to help the
walked
poo
around?
along.
You didn't do anything? Didn't see anyone?
Well, I can't say that. I have various ways to pass the time, you know.
What's his hobby? You're collecting samples of swamp? Vanderpeer said you had a side hobby.
Vanderpeer said you had a hobby on the side.
Is that what he said? Well, yes, he's right. I brought 2 cameras with me when I came here.
Ooh.
I left my video camera, yes. But I have another one. It's much smaller.
A stills
and
camera?
It only takes black and white photographs. You know the kind I mean?
A really old one?
Yes, I suppose so. I've always enjoyed traditional photography.
He's got a
and this
Leica
place is a
M9.
wonderful opportunity to take some pictures of a natural environment.
He's got an old tintype.
So, you were having some time off to take black and white photographs? For fun?
Only one photograph. You have to be disciplined when you're not using a digital camera.
Can I see it?
Of course. I took it near the woods at the back of the swamp. It's quite an interesting shot, but the light qualities weren't perfect. Here we are. Feel free to take a look.
Wait, what? This is a photo?
Mm-hmm. I haven't developed it yet. I only took it last night. Just brush the developing fluid over the photo to reveal the image.
You know, some of the puzzles and things in this game seem like really, really like, you know, for maybe kids 10 and below, maybe even 8 and below. But then some of the stuff isn't. And it really, like, I don't know where the difficulty's meant to come from in this game. We are gonna draw a penis though. Boggy.
What? Is that Boggy?
It's Boggy.
The swamp creature just standing in the water?
It could be. Personally, I'm not convinced, but I'll let you decide for yourself.
So Burrell isn't the murderer. Whoever was dressed up as Boggy is the murderer. Blurry photograph taken by Bobby Burrell shortly before the murder. It shows something that looks like Boggy in the woods at the back of the swamp. The being in the photo seems to have long legs. Okay. I think that's everything we could ask them, but we could present stuff to them. We can present, like, for example,
He's
present
a
this
talented
photo.
man, that Burl. Sometimes I wonder if he'd be better off pursuing his photography full-time, you know?
Yeah. So, again, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 suspects on the right here. Remington is the guy that was murdered. This is his case file. And then Boggy has a case file as well. The interesting thing about Boggy's case file is, it only has this one piece of information right now. But basically, Boggy's the mascot character of this attraction. I don't know why that menu is so laggy. Do you see how laggy that is when it goes away? It's like 2 frames of animation. Yeah. Present a clue. Let's ask him about the
that's
photo.
my photograph, taken near the woods at the north end of Boggy's Bog. Have you tried looking there?
Okay. Let's go into walk mode. Oh yeah, look, the whole animation. Every animation's went really laggy. This is fine, this screen's fine. So here's what I was talking about. So this is where Remington died. The creaking would be him walking along here. He sees the monster. He runs up here into his building. He gets thrown out the window, the curtain rips, and he thuds and hits this. So, yeah. I think that, getting into here is like one of the keys. Too demanding for a point-and-click game from 2014. True. A game the entire file size of this game is 125 megabyte. I could fit 5 copies of this game on my GPU. More than 5 copies, what am I talking about? I could fit like 80 copies of this on my GPU. How much RAM does my GPU have? Like 8 gig? I can fit like 75 copies of this game on my GPU's memory.
I don't think it's a window, but this hatch is shut at the moment. I can't see inside. This side of the museum is surrounded by blue and red flowers.
That's why the audio on the game is compressed to hell, because it's only like 125 meg. So those flowers I actually saw on the ground.
I don't think it's a window. That museum is quite a nice building.
Like earlier, but they weren't near the murder suspect. They were just in the middle of nowhere.
Which makes it look even more out of place in a swamp. Is it being held up on wooden supports? It's bizarre. That means... Wait, is it... It's a stepping stone path that goes past the museum and into the woods. So glad I'm wearing my best shoes today.
Alright, let's go to the
Door's
museum.
jammed unless I can get these brass handles out of the way. Seems like I can rotate them around, just until the gap in the middle is clear.
Puzzle God. Puzzle God.
That top hat guy
Got him.
so struggled with this one.
The top hat guy is a reference to Professor Layton, because Professor Layton games are pretty similar to this. I'd say Layton games are more concerned with puzzles than this one, though.
Models of Boggy's claws. Hold on. What's this?
It is a few too many handles. Is that Boggy's Bog playing the piano? Another short from Boggy's Bog.
Something doesn't seem right here.
Oh, these sparkly effects are to show you where to click for clues. If you turn them off, sometimes there's like no chance you would find that clue. Like one of them was just in a patch of the water and there was no way you would click it, so I have them turned back on.
I think I should try arranging these models into pairs. Something seems out of place.
Oh. Okay.
I don't think these gloves are part of the exhibit. It looks like someone tried to hide them here.
So, when Remington was killed, he had 3 claw marks, which makes me think these are the murder weapons, but apparently we're taking these? These flippers, they're not part of the exhibit, that's for sure. Yeah, so if you look at Remington's wounds, he has these 3 claw marks on his body, and then this is the prime suspect, Mr. Boggy.
Let's see here. This journal belonged to the explorer, who first discovered Boggy in this swamp 60 years ago. I'd better take a look at this.
That's me taking a look at this. Holy shit.
This journal, it's full of drawings and notes all about Boggy.
It's interesting that the old thing of Boggy in the museum shows claws, but the Boggy that we know from the tourist attraction is like a silly guy with like tentacles.
It seems to be the centerpiece of the entire museum.
Okay, a journal recorded 60 years ago by the explorer who first visited the swamp, the only record of Boggy existing, contains notes and sketches on the appearance of the swamp creature. Boggy is shown with 3 small claws in each arm. Boggy's feet are always hidden in the water. There seems to be a page ripped from the back. Okay. Yeah, they replaced them with this joke, right? Like the Loch Ness Monster. It's a terrifying dinosaur, but they made it into like a fucking silly thing.
There's a little door in the wall here. I think it leads outside. It's locked though.
Same with your Swedish trolls, right? Swedish trolls are meant to be these like big giant scary things, and I've seen the Trolls movie with Justin Timberlake. It's not the same. They've neutered my boy. Oh no. Alright, let's talk to this guy.
This is a really cramped museum. Not worth the admission price.
Yes. One time I was in a boat in the middle of Loch Ness, and I was in this boat, like a rowboat, and the boat suddenly lifted out of the water, and I panicked because it was so high in the air, and I was lowered back down, and I made my way to shore, and a local man said, "Hey, when you were out in the water, the Loch Ness Monster lifted his head out of the water with your boat on top of his head, and you were like 20 feet in the air." And I was like, "No way." He's like, "Yeah." True story. That old man's name? Barack Obama. How can I not talk to this guy?
Let me guess, you don't work here, do you?
Oh, shit.
You're incorrect, detective. I am no mere tourist.
How did you know I was a detective? Was it my stylish trench coat, my sensitive, inquisitive manner?
It was the clueless expression on your face.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
Right. That's it. You've done it now. What's your name?
I go by Folder. Agent Folder.
Did you see
what
his
are you doing?
pocket? His pocket extended into like a filing cabinet. Nothing wrong with your face. I'm writing things about you in my notebook.
I'm writing bad things about you in my notebook.
I think that was the wrong thing to say, because normally if you say the right thing, it goes da-da-ding. Ugh, I'm rubbing my eye, by the way. I feel really like, you know when I stop talking and I'm like picking my nose or something? Or sneezing? Because I don't have a webcam on, you don't know if like what I'm doing. You might think like, is he like taking a shit? Is he squeezing out a fart? Normally sneezing.
So, if you're not a tourist, and you don't work here...
I am a scholar, an academic. I'm here to research the past and uncover the future.
He's never even read Naruto.
Visiting the museum. For fun.
Fun! Oh, there's nothing so simple as fun to be had here.
True.
I come to this museum night and day to study its secrets.
Ah, what kind of secrets? It's just a museum about Boggy, right? The swamp creature.
He's one of the most intriguing modern examples of cryptozoology. A fascinating combination
He's
of
a cryptid.
scientific fact and wild speculation.
A creepy dude.
I'm with
a
you on the
cryptid.
speculation front. Although, come to think of it, people have been hinting that I should find out about the history of this creature.
A wise suggestion. And you've come to the right person. My knowledge far exceeds anyone else you might have met so far.
So, you'll help me?
I suppose I could divulge some of my findings with you. if you're in the mood for a little light reading.
That fucking
Let me
emote.
find it for you. Oh yeah, this'll do.
This guy's
Something
my favorite
for,
Redditor.
beginners at least.
I'll have you know I'm the moderator on r/Boggy. And I also run the Boggy Discord. Information about Boggy collected by Agent Folder. Boggy's swamp became a protected area after reports of hunting in the area. Boggy's appearance has changed from the original sketches in which he has 3 claws on each arm. The modern character has simple fin-like arms instead, to make him less threatening. The footprints were recorded in the journal, but some experts believe the information is out there somewhere. Oh, no footprints were recorded. Yeah. r/Boggy.
So, Mr. Folder.
Agent Folder.
Yeah, were you here yesterday? What were you doing last night?
I was here, in the museum, going through my files one final time before disappearing into the night.
Don't museums usually close
Did he
in the
leave at
evenings?
night? What time did he
They
leave?
do. I've never been one to worry about other people's schedules. I come and go as I please.
If he left around 8, he might have seen
There's a
somebody
key
approach the
to
cabin.
every lock, Detective.
True.
Oh, so you have the key to the museum?
Of course I don't. Why would you think that?
Well,
Once again, that clueless expression. I use a lockpick and get in through the small side
Oh!
door. I have a right to be here, you see. Remington has no business locking
presenting
me
him
out,
with the
so I don't
lockpick.
let him.
You just admitted to breaking the law. If everyone did that, my job would be a lot easier.
True.
It's not my best lockpick. This new one's cheap. I used to own one, a superior model. Unfortunately, I misplaced it in one of the darker corners of the swamp, so
I'm writing down your confession about sneaking around here at night.
And what are you gonna do? Report me to Remington? Good luck, my friend.
I need to pick my questions
A
carefully.
lockpick. I found near Remington's body. Might belong to Agent Folder. Oh god, I hate that Discord kitten shit. Right, my lost hat. I lost near Boggy. Might belong to... It says Mr. Harper. I don't even know who Mr. Harper is yet. We haven't even met Mr. Harper. Might belong to Agent
The hat I lost near the swamp creature might belong to Agent Folder. No. Did somebody tell me
Okay.
about this lockpick already?
Okay, the lockpick I found inside the body of Remington. I found in his body.
The lockpick I found near
Oh my
Remington's
God.
body might belong to
I don't
Agent
think anybody
Folder.
wants a Discord
As
kitten.
far as I know, Agent Folder is experienced with lockpicks. I wonder if he's hiding something.
A lockpick was found, blah blah blah, yeah. Can I present it? Oh wait, no, that unlocked the thing. So instead of presenting it as a clue to him, we actually just like use his challenge break that we just made.
Guesswork. Nobody can know what Boggy's feet look like. It's his greatest secret.
Boggy's greatest secret. That unlocked a thing though.
The real swamp creature had claws. 3 on each hand, to be precise. But why does the costume just have these pathetic fins instead?
So that is part of a costume. Right? Those are 2 parts of the costume.
This file goes over some basic differences between the genuine creature and the cartoon character. It's nothing more than a basic overview, really.
Okay, let's challenge
I have a
him.
bone to pick with you.
Are you setting yourself up for a joke? Something about a lockpick?
Maybe. Who knows? Stop distracting me. I'm trying to interrogate you.
My apologies, go ahead.
So, what are we showing Folder now?
We're gonna show him the lockpick, duh.
Where did I find this again?
We found it. Uh-oh. Protest?
I found a lockpick at the scene of the crime.
I don't know what
Apparently you
protest
did.
is.
Why does this concern me?
You already admitted to owning a lockpick and using it to open
You
locked
already
doors.
admitted to owning one of these, and how you're ever so happy to come and go as you please with it, am I right? Be honest.
Luckily for me, Detective, I was honest with you. I believe I have already explained that second lockpick before you even found it.
You lost your lockpick in the swamp and had to buy a new one.
You lost your lockpick in the swamp and had to buy a new one.
That's right. I appreciate you finding it for me. However, I won't ask for it back. Apparently, it has since become some diabolical instrument in the art of murder.
Yeah, it's an important piece of evidence.
So, that didn't really give me too much more. It looks very shifty. Look at his face over here in the bottom right. Alright, I think we're donezo here, though. We can leave. Always check to see if something's changed on a screen when you leave. So what is this protest? See what it says protest? We haven't seen this yet. Yeah. This is like, it updated the map to say this before we'd seen it. On our way in, we went this route and there was nothing. I'm guessing that this is going to be inside the office. So we still have a lot to go to. This is going to be the cafe. Alright, Hamish here is protesting.
Ah, you've arrived at a bad time, my friend. For once, they don't actually want tourists walking around this place.
I always arrive at a bad time. It's what I do. I'm a detective, not a tourist.
My apologies.
He's wearing... Sandy? He's wearing a kimono band. He's got a kimono band on his head. It's a kimono band.
It's just, you have the same wide-eyed expression as the kids that come here. Running around, spending their parents' money, you know.
Kimono band.
You know, it's not every day I visit a swamp full of such unique specimens.
It's no problem.
Torol doesn't know the joke, so I'm gonna explain the joke. I went on Snapchat, I tried to type camo on and for some reason my phone turned camo on and to come on and band as one big fucking word with like a capital letter at the start. And then I sent it in this big long text to Sandy, and then I didn't notice. But like, why didn't... Come on and band.
You're just thinking what we all thought when we arrived for the first time.
Come on and
Why
band.
didn't they put in a bathroom?
No, you're thinking, this place is beautiful. What a lucky man I am to be here.
Oh,
I am
Lord.
I? Well, if you say so.
Edward Everstone.
Stop
at
swamping
your
the swamp.
service.
That's a pretty cool name. Can I call you Ed?
You don't need to. Everyone just calls me Echo.
Echo. Huh? Why? Because it gives you an elevated sense of purpose? Why? Because you're a good swimmer? Oh! This is a reference to Echo the dolphin. Why? Because you're a good swimmer. Holy shit! Did you guys ever play Echo the dolphin? I had a game on PlayStation 1 that was similar called Fluid, where you played a dolphin and you went through rings and it did music. It like made music or something, I can't remember. Oh yeah! Fluid was a game where you swam through rings to unlock different sounds, and then you put the sounds onto like a musical score and it made music. Like 90s synth music? I don't know. Weird game. I don't think anybody else ever played Fluid. Fluid is such a weird game. Why? Because you'd bounce if I threw you a wall.
Why? Because you'd bounce if I threw you against a wall?
What? No. Because I always come back. Again and again, until my job is done.
You're protesting, right?
I certainly am. And now that you're here, I'm getting you involved.
What does that mean? Yeah, I haven't got time to hold up signs for you. I'm sorry.
You simply have to hear my message and take it with you.
Go ahead. I'm all ears. Plus, I have a little notebook.
What was the first thing you felt when you saw the sign for Boggy's Bog looming over you?
Well, I thought it was...
Not thought. Felt.
I felt... Well, something seemed wrong. There wouldn't be a tourist attraction in the middle of a swamp like this.
True.
There shouldn't be.
My job is done. Clearly your brain is working perfectly, Detective.
So you're against the tourist attraction? Yeah, let's see. You'd rather this area was kept as a natural habitat, right?
Right again. And that precise word, habitat, First and foremost, I'm protesting for animal rights.
Well, okay, I'm following you, but it's not like they're cutting down trees or anything like that, right?
All animals deserve the right to live in peace, and I promise you, on a normal day, this place is far from peaceful.
Are you talking about the swamp creature? About Boggy?
A creature like that. He's earned the right to be left alone. We're fools to invite ourselves into his home like this on a daily basis, assuming he's
Free my
not going to
man Boggy.
mind.
You know what I'm saying?
Assuming he'll keep to himself and let us walk around with his face on our t-shirts.
Boggy did nothing wrong.
Well, I agree. I think he should be left alone. But like you said, he can probably handle himself. And if no one has even seen him in 60 years, I don't really see the problem.
Unlike you, Detective, I never had an academic calling in life. I was never even a talented artist or musician or anything. So instead, I made the decision to stand up for those who were getting a raw deal.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yes, I do.
I said,
Well,
do you come
I'm
here
only
every
going to
night?
ask you about one of those days. What were you doing yesterday evening?
I was here at my protest spot until fairly late. Then I went to get something to eat at Harper's
Around
Cafe before I
8:30?
You ate at the cafe here?
Uh-oh.
Doesn't supporting the tourist attraction like that kind of go against your protest?
A man has
Did he
to
get
eat, doesn't
diarrhea?
he?
The same
I don't
as
think the meager contributions
Remington?
of one person are going to keep this place afloat. Especially now.
And you're sleeping here? Doesn't it get cold at night?
Well, I came prepared, of course. I usually find myself with 1 or 2 extra layers to wear. Most of this bulk is padding, I promise you.
I'm sure it is. So you stayed here the whole night?
That's right.
Did I just make a
And I
fat
admit
joke?
I may have heard some stranger than usual sounds floating around the swampland.
Did Detective Grimoire just make a fat joke? He just said, I'm sure it is. Is this game body shaming? There's no body shaming on this channel, right? Love your body you're in. Be comfortable in your own skin. That's my motto. That's my motto. My motto used to be big fun, big women, big money. But we had to change it because we weren't getting any women or money.
What
Anyway.
kind of sounds?
It's impossible to
Jesus
say.
Christ.
This place fills with the most terrifying sounds at night. Hundreds of animals, some tiny, some much larger, awaken and make their own protests. Every night until the sun rises in the morning.
Insects make noises at night. Okay, I've written it down.
That's like me when I play a puzzle game. I write down stupid shit all the time. I have all these sheets of paper from when we were playing the 999 games, and holy fuck. You know this guy, Echo? The way he talks is like that guy from the Vine, or the TikTok, where he says, 5 Whoppers, and 5 more Whoppers. Like the way he says, like, some tiny insects, and some not so tiny. Like, why speak in fucking riddles? Let's present to him this black and white photo.
I'm afraid I have no idea.
Of course you don't. Let's present to him these floppers.
Show it to somebody else.
Show it to somebody who gives a damn.
No thanks, my friend.
Okay. You know what? I think we're done with Protest Man. I don't think he's gonna help us.
These flower
These are the
petals seem
petals
a little out of place.
that
lying
come
on the
from
ground
the
over there.
museum. But we haven't been able to pick them up or anything, and that's the whole interaction. But it does look like they're around his feet, and they're on this path that leads up to the museum and to the office. I think we should go to the, whatchamacallit, the cafe. Oh, this is the guy that rowed us in on the boat. I can't remember his name because I forgot it.
Ah! Back so soon,
Officer
Grimoire?
James.
What's troubling you?
You ask him for hints, basically, if you're a scrub. But we're not a scrub. Very good at games.
There's a hollow part of the tree right at the front, but it's too dark to see inside.
Alright, we need to come back here when we have some type of large match. Oh, baby. You know, I didn't expect romance, you know what I'm saying, in this game?
Sorry to interrupt. I can see that you're, hard at work.
You weren't here yesterday.
Did you miss me? Oh no, I only just arrived. I was in my office yesterday. Were we in our office? Are we lying?
Oh, no, I only just arrived.
You're the detective,
Oh,
right?
baby! Did she just turn around and show us the cheeks? I was joking when I said there was going to be a love interest, but she just fully did like one of those flirty stretches. You know those flirty stretches? You know what I'm talking about. Nobody needs to stretch like that.
So, that was your hat I saw blowing through here.
Oh yeah, my hat.
You spotted it too.
If you're good at your job, you may have realized that it's kind of dead around here. So, I generally notice
Her ears are on her neck.
Oh, and don't worry. You look better without it.
How do you know?
Oh, I have a good imagination.
How did this woman know that I looked better without my hat? The true mystery. Alright, what's your job? I'm guessing she sells fucking t-shirts and mugs and boggy plushes.
I didn't expect to see someone your age working in a place like this. But then again, I didn't expect there to be a place like this in a place like
her
this.
age?
I only started working here this year anyway. It's temporary. Just running the gift shop to earn a little extra money. Don't ask how I ended up here.
I'll save that question for a different day. You don't seem at home here exactly.
I hate it. This place is disgusting.
Come on, you don't think it's kind of beautiful?
You would say that. You only just got here. You'll get sick of it.
If I wasn't here, I'd be stuck in my office doing paperwork.
At least at your office, you don't have to bring spare clothes every day. It's impossible to leave this place without being covered in dirt.
Challenge accepted.
You know when you go to a place like this, like a kind of humid, swampy place, it's almost like there's no fucking fresh air. It's like you're breathing in more plant matter than oxygen. And I kind of get the sense that this place just smells like fucking warm sewage.
When you have a moment free from your
like Brighton
schedule, I need to ask you about last night.
I know, but it won't help. I worked here during the day, then left my gift shop and went home in the evening, same as every day.
You just leave your gift shop here when you go?
No, I put it in my pocket.
Yeah, seriously though, as much as I appreciate sarcasm, I think I'd get in trouble if I wrote something like that down in my notes.
Well, look, you've noticed
she
the
only
gift shop
has 4
mirrors in
fingers,
the
but we
thinking,
have 5.
"Oh, she's pretty lazy to leave it lying around. But if you want to try pushing this thing through the swamp, be my guest. And I can't lock it up, so I just leave it here overnight. Nobody's ever stolen any of this lousy merchandise anyway. I even left my spare clothes here when I went home last night.
You left them here? By the gift shop?
Yeah, it's no big deal. They were all still here this morning. Kind of.
Kind of?
I think someone played a stupid joke, and my spare black leggings were covered in some disgusting swamp slime when I found them in my bag this morning.
Somebody jizzed on
If
our
you're going to
leggings
take
and
my
put them
clothes and
back.
mess them up, then just keep them. I don't want them back. You know what I mean?
I absolutely do.
Dude, somebody fucking slimed on our leggings. What kind of game is this? What could Sally's leggings possibly have to do with the case? I don't know. Why do we even have them? This is fucking weird. Alright, let's present the flappers.
I have no idea what that is.
Let's present the glovers.
Where are you keeping all this stuff? In your pockets?
Yeah, like where you put your cart at night.
This was taken near the forest at the back of the swamp, correct?
Yes, I think so.
Mm-hmm. The water is really clear back there. The legs of this thing are reflected in the bottom half of the photo. It's a nice shot, actually.
A reflection? Oh, yeah, of course. A reflection in the water.
Doesn't water typically only reflect when the water is dark? Kind of like how, like, a polished black surface will reflect more light than a polished white surface. So darker water reflects more light than white, because white or clear would absorb. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. I think that's it. I don't think we can present any more evidence to her. We can ask her about some of the other people. Let's ask her about Remington.
He made sure I always got paid, so I can't say anything bad about him.
So
You
Remington's
can if you
her
like.
employer.
They won't hear you.
You
At
should
the
have
gift
more
shop.
respect for the dead.
I know.
I have no respect for the dead. Let's ask about Boggy.
I think the cartoon character is kind of dumb.
What about the real creature?
I've never met him.
Me neither.
This is going nowhere.
It's a humble gift shop wagon. Let's take a look.
Why? Because Boggy's always in the pot. He literally has no feet in any of these things. Like the postcard, the little wind-up toys, the plushie. Oh my god.
Boggy dolls, Boggy toys, Boggy postcards. Yeah, this stuff isn't half bad.
I would actually really like one of these little plastic Boggies. And maybe you wind up and he like dances.
A Boggy's Bog Mug. Maybe I'll get one and surprise Officer James for Christmas. A Boggy's Bog. Maybe I'll.
I want a Boggy's Bog
dolls,
mug.
Boggy toys. It's a photo of the swamp entrance. Or it could be a painting. There's really no way to tell, you know? Well, I wouldn't wear it. Maybe to sleep in, you know, not outside.
Do you think this joke about it's hard to tell if this is a photo or a painting is because it's obviously painted by the developers, if that makes sense?
It's a map of the swamp. Mine seems a little older than this one, though. It's a framed drawing of Boggy. What a shame, it's not even signed.
Not even signed.
Brightly colored Boggy baseball caps. Is there something behind them?
The Boggy helmet.
What on earth? This thing doesn't seem to belong here at all.
The curtain!
It's some kind of roughly made costume head, I think. There's a strange piece of red fabric stuffed inside. 2 clues for the price of 1, I guess.
Oh.
What on? It's some. There's a.
Am I taking it with me? Oh, I think I've got it now. Can we present this? Alright. What about this head?
That is not something from my gift shop. I've never seen it before.
Of course you haven't.
Is that one of your clues? It's nice. You can put it away now. These hats look pretty stupid. Luckily, kids seem to like stupid stuff.
You sell a lot of them?
Yeah, they're pretty popular.
Do you know what that hat actually looks like? It looks like a Murloc hat that you get from the Blizzard store. It literally looks like the Murloc hat from the Blizzard store. Remember? It fucking does. Oh no. Oh lord. Alright, I'm out of here. Nice talking to you, doll. Let's have a look in here.
Predictably, a trash can. And I just can't resist taking a look inside.
I think one of the first puzzles in Sam and Max is you look in a trash can.
The glamorous life of a detective. My favorite part of the job. Maybe there's something underneath the trash in here.
Alright, we got a blue orange juice, we got a green orange juice. This one has this is vegan friendly and this one's vegetarian friendly. Did you know? Oh god, 7-Up. Or was it Sprite? I think it's Sprite. You know Sprite comes in the green plastic bottles. Sprite are changing their bottles to clear bottles, right? Like they made this big thing about it a couple of months ago. They're changing their bottles to be clear because it's more environmentally friendly to use clear plastic instead of dyeing it green. And it's a complete like, I don't know what you would even call it. It's a lie, I guess, right? The real reason Sprite is changing its bottles from being green to being clear is because it's really easy to identify them in big piles of garbage. Like if you look at a pile of like plastic on the beach or plastic at a recycling factory, it's really obvious when it's Sprite. So they're trying to camouflage. They're trying to come on and band. They're trying to camouflage their bottles. It's a real fucking thing. It's similar to like the thing McDonald's does, where McDonald's doesn't care about their trash and makes their packaging really like obviously from McDonald's, so when people litter, it's advertising. Like you see a McDonald's cup and you go, oh, that's a McDonald's cup. It's like the opposite. They're trying to like camouflage their trash in the same way that McDonald's tries to like use it for advertising. I thought it was interesting. Anyway, there's a boggy drawing.
Hello, what's this? Just a piece of paper? Or something more sinister?
These look like designs for a boggy costume. What's going on around here? Alright, we have parts 1, 4, 5, and 2. We're only missing part 3, which is the peanut body.
Are we really talking about a swamp creature here?
That girl I found in my office. I don't know what Coils and Co. Fairground is. This might be a reference to one of their other games. Are we really talking about a swamp creature here? The boggy character. Oh, the costume design I found in the trash explains that the swamp creature this?
The costume design I found in the trash can explains what the swamp creature was doing last night.
Huh. It's a toughie, lads. I found in my office that was hidden inside. Yeah, it has to be the costume design, and then the next thing has to be the costume design I found in the trash can explains what Oh! Burl's black and white photo disproves what the swamp creature was doing last night?
The costume design
There we go.
I found in the trash can explains what Burl's black and white photo is showing me. My detective's intuition is kicking in.
Yeah.
That black and white
My
photograph.
spidey sense.
I'm not sure I'm looking at the real boggy here.
I don't think
and
it's the
I
real
think
boggy
these
either.
designs I found in the
You know,
trash can
after
might
an hour
be
and
the
10
answer.
minutes of this game, I
I'll
don't
ask
think
around,
so.
see if anybody knows anything about this. Oh, and I should start looking for the costume itself. If I can find that, there'll be some pretty impressive evidence.
Chapter 3.
I have something for you.
This is the helper
Another
girl.
gift already. Where are you
You haven't
keeping
seen
all
her
this
yet.
stuff? You don't even have pockets in that dress.
I don't need a pocket to carry a key.
What key?
I don't know. You could try it on any door you like. Although, I recommend you try it on that office door.
I'm going in the office.
Remington's office?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We haven't interviewed this guy. I hope by solving that trash puzzle we didn't advance this guy's dialogue. You know, the cafe's dialogue, and like bring it on to phase 2.
The tables and chairs are made out of parts of a ship, I think. Never really learned much about ships.
So this thing in the middle is used for industrial cable and like rope. But I guess it could be used on a ship. And then these are barrels. But you know them. Anyway.
Ah, yes. I heard they were sending somebody.
Is that his hair or a
So
tumor?
You're Detective Grimoire.
At your service. Well, kind of. You're a suspect too.
Of course, of course.
I have
Feel
bad
free to be
posture.
as suspicious as you like. I won't be offended. You can call me Harper.
How did you know my name?
I can only assume I must have read about one of your many exploits. But I think you'll find the swamp to be your greatest challenge.
My greatest challenge was shaving my head. It's so lumpy. Very difficult.
Anyway. What's so challenging about an old swamp? You mean this murder case? I'm sure I can handle it. I love challenge. I eat challenge for breakfast.
I love challenge. I eat challenge for breakfast.
The swamp itself has a history that has captured many imaginations.
I would tell
For
this guy
better
to put down the
or
knife.
For worse.
You know what I'm saying?
My advice to you, look to the past. It could be the way forward.
Look to the past. It's the key to the future.
So, you sit in this boat all day and sell food to people? To tourists, I guess?
Not just the tourists, but the employees too. To anyone who is hungry or thirsty. I know everyone's favorite foods.
What are they? Oh, and is this a real shipwreck? How did it get here?
Does he know the girl? Because the little girl's the only one not on the
swamp.
suspect
I
list.
don't want to spoil your fun.
Is there a secret to this shipwreck?
No.
You just spoiled my fun.
You'll find out there are some secrets worth keeping when you've worked here as long as I have.
Well, how long is that?
I've worked in the swamp almost as long as Mr. Remington. We knew each other for a long time.
Really? So what was his favorite food?
Mr. Remington enjoyed a specialty only I can make. The bog dog. He ate one nearly every day. A real creature of habit, that one.
It looks like a hot dog.
It's similar, but I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. I'm not serving them today.
Why not?
Yesterday I found this strange green powder in my entire supply.
Guess I'm out of luck today. Well, thanks for the information. You've been a real big help.
Wait, take this with you. If you get thirsty, it's the most popular drink in Boggy's Bog. Swamp juice.
Fucking hell!
It looks... Well, I'll try some later on.
I found the
Your
green
luck.
stuff on the
That's
hot
my
dog,
last
or the
bottle.
bog dog.
A lot of swamp juice has been disappearing from my stock
It
recently.
was part
I can
of
only
it.
assume I must have been selling them all.
Did something strange happen at the cafe yesterday?
Bobby Burrell left the cafe after feeling ill. Oh. Yeah, Richard Remington left the cafe after feeling ill. The bog dog. Harper sold him some swamp juice.
Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after Hopper sold him some swamp juice. Ooh, that...
It's nearly right.
Bobby Burrell left the cafe feeling ill after Hopper sold him some swamp juice. I'm losing my mind here. Why did Remington rush back to his office?
He left after feeling ill. Oh, is it after Harper's Cafe sold him... Huh?
Richard Remington
Is this it?
left the cafe feeling ill after Hopper's Cafe sold him a bog dog. I think that's pretty close.
I don't understand.
Richard Remington left the cafe
Was it the
feeling
swamp
ill
juice?
after
It was the
Hopper's
bog
Cafe
dog that made him feel
sold
ill,
him some
right?
swamp juice. I don't get...
Holy shit, the biggest fucking fly just came past my head. Alright, I need to kill this fly. This is why I need a webcam, so you can see me killing flies. Holy shit, it's fucking huge. It's not gonna land. It's not gonna land. I think I just got it. I missed. Oh no, it's in my light. I have like a Chinese lantern style light, and when flies are in it and they hit the sides, it's so fucking loud and it knocks down all the dust from inside the light. Oh no. It's fucking going crazy, dude. I got it! It's now dead. If only I'd had a webcam. Then you could have seen the epic battle. Alright. What about Bobby Burrell left the cafe?
Bobby Burrell left the cafe feeling ill after a bog dog sold him some swamp juice. Was Remington served some strange food?
It has to just be Remington left. I don't get this at all. Was it Bobby that sold him the dog?
Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after Bobby Burrell sold him a bog dog. Ooh.
Alright, it's not Harper. It's not Harper's Cafe that sold him a bog dog. It wasn't Harper or Harper's Cafe that sold him some swamp juice. And it's not the other two.
Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after Harper sold him some swamp juice. Ooh. Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after Harper's Cafe sold him some swamp juice. What is that supposed to mean? Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after Harper sold him a bog dog. Harper is basically in charge of all the food and drink here in Boggy's Bog. I'll have to ask him about this. I was told Remington left the cafe looking ill last night. Since you seem to be completely in charge of all the food and drink around here, I'm afraid this is something I can't ignore.
He was an old man. His health wasn't perfect. But I'm not arguing with you. I think it is suspicious. What do you think caused it?
What do I think caused it?
I mean, the green powder, right?
A bog dog he ate at the cafe gave him food poisoning.
I keep all my food locked in his storeroom when I'm not here. You think he was poisoned?
I think he was poisoned.
Poisoned by me?
The storeroom was broken into with a lockpick.
A lockpick? I've never encountered a problem like this before. But since last night, am I in a position to doubt a claim like that?
Somebody knew that Remington would eat a bog dog. He ate one every day, right?
Do you suppose this explains the missing bottles of swamp juice as well?
Yeah. Whoever is using the lockpick. So, can I ask about people's favorite food? What if I ask about Sally?
There are a lot of suspects on that list.
What if I ask about Echo?
It's here a lot. I think he's been putting less effort into his protests recently. Which is a shame. I think it's an admirable cause.
Do you talk to him much?
Not really. Sometimes he likes to talk, just casual conversation. He asks how business is going and what everyone likes to eat, nothing of real importance.
He asked what everyone likes to eat. Echo might have asked Harper what Mr. Remington likes to eat, got told it was a bog dog, right?
You're prime suspect, am I correct?
Well, technically, but I'm not even sure he's real.
Don't worry about that. Real or not, the creature's the most important part of this mystery.
Which one? The cartoon character or the real creature?
Exactly. You're going to ask me about what I was doing last night.
I was going to? Were you going to tell me anything?
I was working here at the cafe in the evening. I had a couple customers. Eventually they all left and I locked up and went home.
Do you lock away everything at night?
Not everything, just the storeroom over there.
You mean that little door on the side of the ship? Is there anything else to lock?
I leave the chairs, tables, and trash can where they are. Lifting things like that is not a job for an old man.
Don't you have anyone to help you?
Mr. Remington liked to keep us down to his skeleton staff. There simply aren't many people who would choose to work in a place like this.
A skeleton staff? Well, that's convenient for him since...
Don't make that joke. I won't laugh.
I don't get it. A skeleton staff that's convenient for him because he's dead? Is that the joke?
Someone made a costume to look like the creature. They must have known it would get a reaction for sure. But I wonder if they planned things to go this far.
When you're finished theorizing, I was going to show you these sketches I found in a trash can right next to your cafe.
It does seem like someone was designing a costume. A disguise, perhaps.
I don't know.
Try to think why somebody would do such a thing.
I don't know.
What could they achieve with it?
I don't know.
Not yet.
Alright, you guys listen to the bog sounds, and I'm gonna quickly BRB. I'll be 1 minute.
Hello, it's me, I'm back. It's me, Remington, with the bog dog.
Alright. What are we doing? We're doing stuff. See how this says crime scene? And it has like all the stuff here? I'm guessing that what we are gonna get to fill these gaps comes from back at the crime scene. Correct? So maybe that's where we should go next. But presenting this guy with profiles gave us some more information on Echo.
I don't know what to say.
Let's just keep presenting
I
him
don't
with
know very
profiles
much about them.
until he gives us
You
more
have a
shit.
lot of suspects on that list. I don't know what to.
He served Bobby Burrell at the cafe last night, but he doesn't have anything to
He
say
was a
about
friend
him.
for many years. If you have any questions about him or his belongings, I may be able to help you.
Now his belongings.
That's the same fabric from Mr. Remington's curtains.
Okay. Confirmed it's the curtains.
It was Mr. Remington's favorite food. That strange green powder isn't supposed to be there.
Alright. Challenge complete. I guess what we do is we just leave. Yeah, I guess we just leave. This is deeper into the forest where we haven't been yet.
Someone please tell me why there's a house here. Well, the lights are on. Maybe somebody's home. Someone, well... The latch is broken on this door. Seems I can fix it with those 3 cogs if I just put them in the right place.
Uh-oh. It's a puzzle.
Once
The
they're on
puzzles
right
are so
pins,
easy in this game.
I can move the handle at the bottom to try and open the door.
Okay. I'm gonna work it out in my head before I place anything. Now, I think there are multiple solutions to this. I'm pretty sure it's just like this. And then like this. No! It's too small! Oh no! No, wait, is it too small? Hold up. Nope. Fuck. I was too cocky. I flew too close to the sun. Alright, it's not gonna be one of these because it doesn't connect, right? So, it's either this or this. But it's gotta be this. Then it's a small one. Then it's a big one. I got too cocky. Oh my lord. What the hell is this lady?
You just walked straight into my house, did you?
I'm paid to walk into people's houses. Let's be nice.
Sorry, I would have rung the bell, but you don't have one.
Normally, I have methods for dealing with unwanted attention.
Look at that clavage.
But I can make exceptions for harmless idiots.
Do you get any attention up here?
Most of the time, people like to leave me alone. But I don't think you're going to, are you?
No. I could make an excuse and say it's my job to ask you about last night, but to be honest, I climbed all the way up here and I just like being indoors.
Well, if you insist on staying, I'll tell you. I'm Lady Weybridge, and I think you might be climbing up the wrong trees.
I'm Detective Grimoire, and I think I might agree with you.
Okay, I don't think she's the murderer. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna have to ask her about stuff.
What do you do here? Did you work for Richard Remington?
I was living here before that man was even born. And I have absolutely
Okay, she's
nothing
900
to do
years old.
or his little tourist attraction.
You're exaggerating. How long have you been here? Just in this treehouse? What do you do up here?
I've been here longer than anyone. Even longer than, well, anyone.
I like numbers.
60 years, something like that.
What have you been doing for that time? If you don't mind me asking.
I have many reasons to be here, but I won't bore you with all the details of my life.
I'm sure there's one detail worth writing down.
I like to study the plants and flowers in this area. I've learned many things from them.
What about this little chemistry set you've got on your table?
Can we ask her about the green
wouldn't call
flower
it a
petals?
chemistry set, but
We didn't
if
take
you
any as
bring me
evidence.
An object that has liquid on it or inside it, I'll tell you what that liquid consists of.
Wow, how do you do that?
Chemistry.
Okay, page from Wendy from Weybridge's Book of Pressed Flowers contains information about all the flowers in the swamp and where they grow. The green and red species only grow around the side door of the museum and can't be found anywhere else. Okay. I feel like I'm presenting her stuff. So we can present her all the drippy things and confirm this is the same stuff.
Let's see. First thing we do is put the sample of liquid into the cauldron. Then tap the faucet. And now, we just have to match the color of that liquid with these ingredients.
Aha.
Got it! Now I know what that liquid consists of. I'll write it down in my notes.
I don't know what that told me.
Let's see. First thing we do is put the sample of liquid into the cauldron, then tap.
Isn't this the same stuff? It's the same slime.
And now...
It's the same. I thought I was just gonna be like, okay,
now
that's
I know
the
what
same.
I'll write it down. That looks pretty similar to last time.
Do you have to do this with all of them?
Tap.
It's the same shit.
And now...
Alright, I guess we're doing it with all of them. I don't know
Got
why.
it. Now I know. I'll write it down. This was the Let's see. First, then tap.
Oh no, we just present these leggings to this old woman and be like, hey, I got some weird substance
now-
on these leggings. Raises so many questions.
Got it. Now I know what that liquid consists of. I'll write it down in my notes. What's going on here? That was definitely the same as the other tests.
Alright.
Your job
let's
is
ask about
to
last
ask me
night.
about what happened last night.
Do you even know what happened last night?
I know more than you might imagine.
Oh, that sounds useful. Can you tell me? What were you doing?
I was here, in my house, by myself.
What else?
That's it.
Thanks. Just give me a minute to write all this down. I found these designs for a boggy costume. Do you know anything about them?
Why are they written
You're
on the
asking
same
me
paper as my
because you
notepad?
can tell I'm experienced with needlecraft and sew my own clothes?
No, but that's a good reason. Let's go with that.
Well, these designs look like they should have stayed where they were.
Oh.
In the trash?
On paper.
Oh, how come?
Whoever drew them didn't really know what they were doing.
You would have done it differently?
Of course. I am a seamstress. There was a time when I considered sewing my craft, my livelihood.
Really?
When Richard Remington arrived in the swamp years ago, I offered him some of my handmade fabric as a peace offering.
The
I
red
don't
fabric.
think he cared much for it. Most likely he threw it away. A pointless gift from some strange woman.
I'm presenting the fabric.
You can put that away. I can't help you with it.
Oh, it wasn't that fabric? Okay, okay. Let's present her with... I guess the people that we haven't broken yet. See this, like, unlocked little thing?
You should ask someone else.
Oh.
Doesn't live in a tree.
I guess she's not telling me anything.
A fascinating old woman who lives in a wonderful treehouse. I'm not even sure who that is.
She doesn't know who Boggy is? What the fuck?
I have nothing good to say about that man.
She has
so
a
I won't
motive.
say anything at all.
Motive. She has motive. She has the motive for killing him. She has the means because she was a seamstress. And she has the opportunity because she lives on the island. I think we have our suspect.
You should ask someone. Show it to someone who doesn't.
Okay. I think the presenting profiles, you know how like I can present all of them and they get grayed out? I think it's pointless if you've already broken the person.
I'm not even sure.
Yeah. Nobody else is gonna have information
You
about
should
them
ask.
because we've already presented it.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
If you bring me something with...
Yeah, she doesn't want anything. I guess we leave. We now have her profile to present to other people, though. Oh, the girl.
Oh! Aha! The great
No
detective
way!
returns.
Is this
Did
girl?
you run out of ideas?
Is this little girl the witch from the past? And that's why her map is like different, and that's why she appears out of nowhere? Is this the witch from like when she came to the island?
Need a little push in the right direction?
Getting a new idea involves ignoring you. No need to push me, but the direction would help. You're the one who needs a little push.
No need to push me, but the direction would help.
Like it or not, I'm here to help you.
I get it. You give me a map, then you magically disappear and hide behind a tree for an
She's a witch.
You want me to be impressed?
Did you talk to all the suspects yet?
I'm working on it. You can't rush these things,
Technically,
you know.
yes.
Have you
Right, apart
noticed
from Boggy.
anything unusual?
I notice that this is going to take longer than I originally planned, and I'm getting the feeling that I wasn't wrong about this tourist attraction.
What do you mean?
I had a hard time believing there could be a place like this here in a dark corner of a swamp. It didn't make sense, and it still doesn't.
Some things don't make sense.
It's covering something
You
up,
need to
right?
look a little closer.
At what? The mud? The water?
They must be like doing something else to make money.
They've been here for years, and they're not to blame. They belong here.
She's gone again. Hiding in a bush, no doubt. I wonder if she'll ever tell me something I can actually understand.
Okay.
This staircase is a tree. And this tree's a staircase. And this place is so weird. The water's clear here. I can see my reflection in it. Not bad.
Hold on. Sparkly icons are turned on, but there was no sparkly icon here. Even though that was a clue.
The water's clear here. Not bad. The water's the rock path leading back towards the museum.
Okay. And then this is... Oh, okay. I'm understanding now. We came down this way. Because we're looking at the tree, it made me think we'd approach the tree from the stones, but that didn't make any sense. Okay, we now have every location.
I don't think it's a window.
So... The only location we don't have is inside the office, so let's go in the office. Let's use the... whatchamacallit.
Even though I have the key, this might not be as simple as I'd hoped.
Uh-oh.
This door has 2 keyholes. So, which key should I use in each one?
Oh no. These two match. The pattern matches. I don't. Uh-oh. Why was it green and blue? I don't even know why it was green and blue. I just guessed.
It's a sharp metal poker for a fireplace, hidden in the shadows.
The claw marks on the victim's body.
Something about those 3 prongs. I feel like I just stumbled across an incredibly important piece of evidence.
Fireplace poker hidden in the Remington's office has 3 small prongs on the end. There is a small amount of dried blood on the tips of the prongs, covered in a strange liquid slime. The 3 prongs match up with Remington's wounds. Could this be the murder weapon? Do you think the person who dressed in the costume, like, just covered themselves in the slime before committing the murder? Isn't that, like,
Remington's
really bad?
desk is covered in drawings and maps and notes.
Like, kind of stupid?
It's all about Boggy. He was obsessed.
Is Remington the explorer when he came 60 years ago and saw him? Is that why Remington stuck
An
around?
ink bottle spilled into his work. I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose. Yeesh, it's a bit of a mess. Perhaps there's something underneath those drawings.
Alright,
It's a letter Remington was writing before. I received your note 2 weeks ago, but I've only recently found the time to do the appropriate research on the matter. I feel like my time in this awful swamp might finally come to a close. All due to the simple realization...
The Boggy isn't real.
The rest is obscure. What a...
I think it's gonna be that Boggy isn't real. Right? He realized Boggy isn't real, and he wanted to leave.
It's a note addressed to Richard Remington. The handwriting is immaculate. Richard, our man of the world. A little help is in order. We're worried that the efforts regarding our elusive little friend might be in vain. Send word when you can. The letter is signed FF. And attached is a blurry little picture. It's some kind of metallic insect. The whole thing is a mystery. I have no idea.
We're not even taking it as evidence?
Vincent Vanderpeer's business card. There's a couple of numbers scribbled on the back.
Okay, he got sent a letter, right? Richard Remington got sent a letter saying, hey, look, we think that the swamp monster that you've been looking for 60 years probably doesn't exist. And he was like, oh, shit. And then, right, Vanderpeer, who had been coming to the island wanting permission to film, the reason he'd been rejected is because Richard Remington wanted to be the one to find Boggy first. So, he rejected Vanderpeer's, you know, pursuits of, like, filming because he wanted to be the first to find it. But because he got his funding cut by FF, the person who sent this letter, he accepted money from Vanderpeer so he could continue looking in the swamp.
Vincent There's a couple of numbers scribbled on the back. There's a couple...
Can we not read the fucking...
It's the rich werewolf sent. The letter is signed and it's some... Oh.
Is that it? We're not gonna take it? Oh yeah, you do take it, you do take it, you do take it. You click back and then it shows any No?
Remington's desk is covered. It's all... Yeesh. Perhaps there's something... It's a letter before... I feel...
Fucking hell, this menu's annoying. I think you're meant to do this and then click on the right part.
There's a map of the swamp lying on the desk. It's been annotated in a few places. There's a map of the...
Alright, I guess that's it. I guess we saw everything.
Photos and paintings line the wall above the fireplace, but one of the frames is empty. Wait a second. What are these pieces on the floor underneath it? This photo is ripped, but it looks important. If I can piece it together again, maybe it'll reveal a secret.
Oh shit, it's the explorer people. I know that nose anywhere. Look at the size of that nose. It's Richard Remdesivir. There were 4 of them. 5 of them. I can count. Six. There were 6. I can't count, okay? I can't count. Dude, this is like, what's it called? King of the Hill. Dung 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 dung.
This photograph, it's a young Remington, and some other men I don't know. They're all holding rifles. Maybe I can ask Harper about it.
Cool.
An old hunting rifle, discarded carelessly
That's
near the window.
the shot we heard. Remember there was a shot on the recording?
This isn't the kind of thing I can ignore.
Old-fashioned hunting rifle, blah 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 blah. Yeah, look, here. That sounds like that type of rifle, right?
Have I uncovered a secret in here?
The hunting rifle. Explains why Sally's face belonged to a secret society. Alright. The hunting photo explains is historical evidence that Richard belongs to a secret society.
The hunting photo is historical evidence that Richard Remington belonged to a secret society. I'm getting a strong feeling that Remington might be the bad guy in this story. If he wasn't already dead, I would have loved to ask him a couple of questions. I should ask around, see if I can gather any information about his motives for being here.
Chapter 3! I don't know how many chapters there are. I'm assuming there's maybe 4. The game's about 2.5 hours long, and we're almost 2 hours in, so... was there anything else to click? The window.
The open window looks over the wooden planks outside. Oh, and on one side, a part of the curtain has been ripped off. I don't know what's in that jar, and I wish it wasn't in there. I'm gonna stop looking at it now.
I think it's a dragon.
Hunting memorabilia. Claws, teeth. It would be an impressive collection if it wasn't so disturbing. Photos and paintings line the way. This photograph and some. Maybe Remington's desk is covered. Perhaps.
Oh god, I keep clicking on stuff we've already seen.
No way. No way. Is this a werewolf? Something happened here. There are signs of a struggle between the desk and the window. This is the creepiest office I've ever been in. This is the creepy.
I think that's it. I think we're done with this room. I think we leave and then we have evidence to like ask people for stuff. One thing I'm not understanding, you see this little bar in the middle? How it has like yellow times 0, red times 5? I don't know what that is. Do you know what I mean?
What?
Like we have 6 for this guy, right? Which I'm guessing is 6 pieces of evidence. So maybe we have to fill in all... Maybe we have 8 pieces of evidence for everybody that we need to get, but what is the yellow?
Not suspicious.
Oh,
Suspicious.
you tap it to make suspicious or not suspicious. I guess it's just a tracker for you. Should I have been doing this the whole game? Fuck. Alright. Sally only begun working in the swamp this year. Is that suspicious? No.
Not suspicious.
Sally thinks the swamp is disgusting. Is that suspicious?
Not suspicious.
No. Sally often brings a spare clothes to the swamp. Is it suspicious?
Not
No.
suspicious.
She doesn't lock away her belongings in the evening. Not suspicious. Unable
Not
to look.
suspicious.
Not suspicious.
Not suspicious. Not suspicious.
None of this is suspicious. It's fine.
Not suspicious. Suspicious. Not suspicious. Not suspicious. Not suspicious.
Is there a point in going through this? I don't know what this is meant to be. I don't know what you're meant to do with this. It changes this little bar, this little suspicion meter. I guess it's just a thing for you to track your own stuff, though.
Not suspicious.
That is suspicious. Yeah, I don't really know I don't really know what you're meant to do. I thought what you would do is get to like chapter 4 and it would ask you to present evidence and you would click on evidence or whatever. Okay, let's go talk to some more people. We have more stuff to present to Vanderpeer. See, we have these two things.
What can you tell me about these designs for a boggy costume?
Nothing whatsoever.
You're sure you didn't see anything like this while you were filming yesterday? Wait, hold on a minute. What if
Don't you dare ask.
This costume isn't your doing, is it? Made for your movie, I mean?
We're still missing a piece of the
there
costume.
will be no costumed idiots within the viewfinder of my camera. I can assure you that.
What about your boggy movie? Isn't that gonna be, like, a guy in a costume, or a puppet, or one of those weird robot things?
Technology has been kind to people like me. We no longer have any need for such tomfoolery. I can create a perfectly believable swamp creature within the confines of a computer. Much cheaper, too.
That's really funny because the Predator movie that's coming out, Prey, or I think it's already out. Yeah, I think people have seen it. The Prey movie that came out, doesn't it have a practical Predator costume? We went backwards.
I suppose you've met with our murder victim, Richard Remington.
Yes,
we started
I've been
doing
in and out of
practical
this place
effects in
for a
movies
while
again.
now. Naturally, I've crossed paths with Remington a number of times. Good value, that one. A real
It's excellent.
raconteur, you know.
I haven't heard a lot about it. I think I've seen like
So
a
far,
couple
I'm
people
getting the
post
impression he
that
wasn't the
it's
most
out.
popular guy around here.
Well, that much is clear, isn't it? The man obviously slipped up somewhere, made an enemy or two, and bam, that's that. You just can't be too careful, can you?
Yeah, I think he did have an enemy or two. Or three. But you liked him.
I respected him. Good head on his shoulders. Good business sense, that man. He understood how to make things work for him.
Okay. And we've already completed his challenge, so I guess there's no point in presenting any of this stuff.
You won't be getting very far discussing that.
Yeah, there's no point presenting anything, I don't think.
If you want an autograph, a plain sheet of...
Let's present some other people.
I simply don't have time.
Yeah, there's no point in presenting any of this shit. Maybe I'll present the people that we don't have broken.
You want me to sign a photograph for you?
Was told the regular grifters were saying it's shit because it's too woke or whatever, so it's probably good. Interesting. There's been so many movies, though, like, so many movies have came out that have been labeled as woke, and some of them have been shit, and some of them have been good. But usually, they're not bad because they're woke, they're just bad movies. Like, the all-female Ghostbusters movie, for example. Also, sad to say, in 2 hours, Saints Row comes out, the remake. It got a 6 out of 10 from IGN. A 6! A fucking 6 out of 10! Ugh. And it's been labeled as, like, super woke, but I don't think it's gonna be bad because it's woke. I think it's gonna be hit or miss. I don't know. We're not playing it tonight, though. We're playing it tomorrow. Because it's like 60 gigabyte and it unlocks at midnight.
Now there's a man who could
Also, what up, Grummeldunk? How long have you been here? Have you seen this game?
Apart from yesterday. That was just a one-off, wasn't it?
Can you help me solve these puzzles?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. The trailer for the new Saints Row looked really bad, and it looked like the gang were dweebs. But in one review that I read, all the reviews came out today, by the way. There was a 24-hour embargo on reviews, so reviews were only allowed to come out today, which is usually a bad sign. Normally, if a game is good, it has like people playing it a month before, and they're able to publish reviews like a week before. But the 24-hour embargo was like a red flag. Anyway, one lady said in her review that the gang looked like dweebs in the trailer, but she actually learned to love them and thought they were good characters and that they were well written and, you know. But she also said that the writing reminded her, the dialogue writing specifically reminded her of Borderlands, which she loves. I fucking hate Borderlands dialogue writing. I think Borderlands dialogue writing from Borderlands 2 onward is fucking trash. Like super trash. Oh god. So who knows? That's why I always say you should follow the reviews of somebody who likes similar things to you. There is such a thing as things being like empirically bad and empirically good, right? Like inherently bad, inherently good things. Like Cyberpunk. Nobody should have given Cyberpunk a good review because the game was faulty, right? It was so bad it got removed from the PlayStation Store, right? So you should follow the reviews of somebody who likes the same games as you. That's what you should do. Does the dialogue matter that much in Saints Row? Isn't it more all about the pandemonium because? I would say yes. I would say yes. I saw somebody say that you play Grand Theft Auto for the story and Saints Row for fun. And I kind of agree, like if you're comparing those two games. But Saints Row has some moments. Like the dialogue does matter. The dialogue and stuff in Saints Row has always been pretty good. Saints Row 2 onward is a good dialogue. Yeah. I like Pierce and like Shondi and all the characters like have their own voice when they talk. They don't sound like they've been written by the same writer. Whereas like Borderlands writing, a lot of the characters are pretty one-dimensional and all seem kind of the same, right? I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see. I really feel like a good game should have everything though, right? Should have everything.
I don't really have time.
I think we're done with this guy, right? We're done with Vanderfart.
Not suspicious. Not suspicious. Not suspicious. Not suspicious. Not suspicious. Not suspicious.
Oh?
Not suspicious. Not suspicious. Not suspicious. Not suspicious?
I think those things are not suspicious. Because we know that he took a photo of the monster, which is pretty suspicious, but everything else is fine. I'm actually really excited for Saints Row though. Like, it'll be different to go back to... When was the last time I played a Saints Row game on stream? I think I played Saints Row 4 on stream a little bit, but that was years ago. Agents of Mayhem I streamed, and I really liked that. I don't know, man. I'm anxious. I spent $50 on this game and I got a 6 out of 10 from IGN. IGN typically give everything a fucking 10 out of 10, right? Like, the IGN giving less than a 7 is like, uh-oh. Like, oh no. But they did say that they gave it a low marks because they played the 2-player co-op a little bit and it was full of bugs. So maybe they marked it down a little bit because of that? I don't know. I watched the whole review and there was a lot of like animation glitches and shit.
Not suspicious. Not suspicious. Not suspicious.
Hates Remington and his tourist attractions, so that is suspicious.
Not suspicious.
So,
Folder spends a lot of time at the museum, that's not suspicious.
Not suspicious.
Folder has a deep interest in cryptozoology, not suspicious. Knows a lot about real swamp creature, not suspicious. Has a lockpick, that is suspicious.
Not suspicious.
But I'm gonna say no, because I don't think it's Folder that did this. And then Boggy. Boggy's very suspicious. Yeah. All of this Boggy is suspicious. It was Boggy that did it.
Oh?
Alright, let's talk to this guy.
I found these designs for a costume. A Boggy costume.
Aha, the legendary swamp creature.
Yeah, that's the one.
But these are just a child's drawings, are they not?
You think?
A child?
Perhaps. It's difficult to tell.
The only young person is Sally and the little girl, and the little girl isn't a suspect.
You saw Remington last night, but had you met him before? Did you know him?
I've never really spoken with him, but we've come into contact a few times. Vincent likes to handle that kind of work, and I like to let him.
What do you think of this place? The tourist attraction, I mean.
I can't say I like the idea of a natural area like this becoming commercialized.
I know.
Oh.
I just can't understand why anyone would even try.
I think Mr. Remington had his reasons. He looked like a man with a couple of secrets.
Like what?
I have no idea. If I knew, they wouldn't be secrets.
Good one. See? Good one. That's good dialogue right there. Let's present the rifle.
What is it? Some evidence from last night's murder?
Let's present the swamp juice, actually.
That's great.
No? The bog
That's
dog?
the food I saw Mr. Remington eating at the cafe last night.
Ah.
Before he got ill and rushed back to his
So
office?
he did eat the shitty
That's
hot
right.
dog, the bog dog.
This is going down in my notebook.
Cool.
I'm sorry I...
Cool. Let me talk to this guy one more time.
I heard this isn't the first time you've tried to...
Oh yeah, we've already seen them.
Rocks. If that was a...
Let's present the bog dog.
You won't be getting very far discussing.
Let's present the swamp juice.
If you want an autograph.
Okay. The bog dog is key. Basically, Mr. Remington was murdered, and at 8:30 p.m. or just before, he ate a bog dog at the cafe that had been spiked with green powder. He felt like he had diarrhea. He went home, where somebody dressed up as a bog creature attacked him, possibly with a pitchfork, and killed him. He was thrown from his window after being stabbed multiple times, and then he died. And we were looking for who the murderer is. None of this is suspicious, right?
Not suspicious. Suspicious? Not suspicious. Not suspicious.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he isn't the murderer because he's the one that's dead. Of course, right? Let's go back to the entrance and we'll have a walk through, just like seeing if anybody's there. Oh!
You again. Ready with some cryptic advice, no doubt?
I think the little girl is the witch in the past talking to us.
The murderer? That's my job. I gotta make sure that they...
No, the creature. Don't take him away.
Aww.
This place is his home.
Oh, Boggy. Hey, don't worry. I didn't really believe he could be, responsible for this mess.
You didn't?
Well, no.
I don't believe he could ever hurt anyone, mainly because I didn't believe he existed. She's a little girl. Let's say...
I don't believe he could ever hurt anyone.
So, he won't get in trouble? You won't have to leave?
Well, he's been out here for what, 60 years, hasn't he? And stayed out of trouble for that long. I have a feeling some detective isn't going to change all that in one day.
Well, in that case, he says... Thank you.
There's a hollow part of the tree, right at the front, but it's...
How do I get into looking this part of the tree? Because we don't have any more items. You know how like you get items in these games? I don't have any. There's nothing apart from... There's another journal and another clue that we don't have. Possibly those could help me look inside there, but we haven't found them yet. This is a protester who's protesting against swamping the swamp. Says stop swamping the swamp. I think he just means stop commercializing it for gain.
What can you tell me about these designs for a costume? A Boggy costume.
It's Boggy! I must admit, I've been a fan of his before I ever came to the swamp.
A fan? So you're interested in cryptozoology?
Oh, no, I meant, well, Boggy has been in all kinds of cartoons and comic strips.
True.
He's one of the greatest
in the museum
characters of the last 100 years. I've got some comics in my tent. You really should see.
But he was only discovered 60 years ago.
Oh, that's true. Well, I rounded up.
But what about his costume? Have you seen anyone wearing it?
I can honestly say I've never seen anyone wearing anything like that. And I'm a very observant person.
Is that because he was the one wearing it? let's present the Boggy hat, because he's gonna have a reaction to that if he loves Boggy, right?
No thanks, my friend.
What? Alright, what about the Swamp Juice?
I'm afraid I have...
What about the Bog Dog?
Show it to somebody...
Show it to somebody who gives a fuck.
No thanks, my friend.
What about the Bog Journal?
This is the journal, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The one that man left here 60 years ago?
Yes.
You seem a little unsure of the details. Shouldn't you have read up on all this stuff?
Forgive me.
I think he likes
it's
pop
hard for me to
culture
get the
Boggy.
image of Boggy as the lovable cartoon character out of my mind.
He likes the cartoon Boggy, not the real
He's just so
one.
iconic. Did you know, in 1973, he...
But you're protesting to protect the real swamp creature. The cartoon character is just some commercial byproduct, right?
Yes, of course.
Huh? Maybe he did the murder. Maybe he committed the murder to make people talk about Boggy, to like get some more Boggy stuff. You know how like people dress up as Mothman?
I'm afraid I...
Alright, he's never seen the
So
costume.
what did Mr. Remington think of you? I mean, protesting in the middle of a swamp every day.
It wasn't his swamp. If he ever truly thought it was, then he was even more of a fool than he seemed.
But he didn't like you hanging around, right?
That man was exceptionally skilled at ignoring me. Ignoring anything he didn't like.
So, what, he just left you alone?
He expected me to get bored and go home. He figured I'd get sick of this place and he'd have it back to himself.
But he didn't want it to himself, did he? He wanted lots of people to come visit all the time, surely.
I'm sure it says that in the brochure. Yes.
I'm gonna present the people who haven't had little padlocks.
You're asking the wrong person. A man who has sacrificed luxuries to protect those who need protecting. Pretty good beard, too.
I wonder what others think of him. So I guess I have to talk to other people about him. Right? To get his little piece of evidence.
Try showing it to somebody different.
Try showing it to somebody who gives a fuck. Alright, let's show him this. We've already done that. Alright, the only people we haven't talked to would be to go to the museum. Yeah, to go to the museum and ask this guy, who's called Agent Folder, about all the other people. We have 2 new things to tell him about anyway, but let's present Echo first.
Oh, yes, I know him. He
There we go.
occasionally asks me about the history and biology of the swamp creature. I explained to him what the real Boggy looks like and how they changed his appearance for the
Okay.
cartoon character.
Why did he ask about that?
Because some people are naturally curious.
I think
You should
the
give it a try
Echo's the
sometime.
murderer. I think the Echo's the murderer. He's protesting against, like, the shit that's going on here, right? He doesn't want it commercialized. He doesn't want the cafe or the museum or any of this shit.
I found these designs for a Boggy costume.
Oh, some ridiculous new merchandise for tourists to
We
waste
still
their
don't
money
have
on.
the body of the
No,
Boggy
I
costume.
believe the murderer was dressed like this last night when they attacked Remington.
And
If they were
Echo could
trying to
have it
scare him
on
out of
under
the
his
swamp, They should
poncho.
have spent more time making an accurate design.
What do you mean?
Well, this design is some bizarre hybrid between the real creature and the cartoon character. It simply hasn't been researched properly.
What's wrong with it?
Well, those flippers? Pure guesswork. Nothing but foolish imagination. Nobody knows what Boggy's feet look like.
True.
No footprint has ever been recorded.
So tell me, Special Agent Folder, how would you do a better job researching it if nothing has ever been recorded?
Oh, well, that's, I mean, it's all a matter of taking the time to... It's just that... But there's no way anyone would believe... Nothing but foolishness.
My name's Agent Folder, and I run the subreddit for Boggy. We can't present the Boggy, flippers, right? What about we show him the murder weapon?
I've never seen that before, and I never want to see it again.
Good.
What can you tell me about your relationship with Richard Remington?
We didn't really have one, and now we definitely don't have one. But look, all I can say is that he was a coward who enjoyed watering down history for his own benefit.
What does that mean?
Watering
It
down
means
history?
there are some chapters of this swamp's history that he never wanted anyone to know about.
Is he giving me
Did he
this,
like you
or is that just
snooping
an
around this
animation?
museum all the time?
I don't think he knew, to be honest. And even if he did, there's nothing he could have done about it. He has no right to this building. He knows that. We both know that.
Why not? It was part of his tourist attraction, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Huh. Says feels like I'm done talking to him, so I guess we are done. Yeah. What did we learn there? He's still a little bit suspicious, right? Let's go back to the protester.
Oh?
And let's present with him fire poker.
Why are you carrying that around with you?
I have a suspicion it may have been the murder weapon.
Really? I thought Remington was attacked by something with claws, wasn't he?
I'm gonna present a profile of the old woman.
I have nothing to say about them.
I thought maybe the old woman has a thing where we could sample liquids. Maybe we can sample blood from the poker.
The tree comes straight through the middle of the house. It even has little drawers carved into it. Okay, even I'll admit, that's pretty cool. You've been here so long, you must have crossed paths with Remington a few times. What did you think of him?
That man was a threat to the swamp. We'll be better off without him. Hopefully the curtain will
Better off
fall on
without
this little
him.
tourist attraction as well.
It's her.
Better off? With a killer on the loose now?
There have been murderers loose in the swamp before.
What are you talking about?
In my time here, I've seen the swamp invaded by men. By hunters. Several times.
Oh.
They're relentless.
Should I show her the picture of the
Were they
hunters?
hunting? Wait, what about Boggy? Is that why no one has seen him in 60 years?
They always fell short of their ultimate goal. That just meant they came back again and again, doing more harm each time.
But this area is protected by law, right?
It is now, but some men have no respect for laws, of any kind. They tried to get me to leave my home here. I stood my ground.
Obviously. But this whole area is a tourist attraction now. I doubt Remington would have allowed anyone to march into Boggy's Bog with a gun and start hunting down his main attraction.
This is a complete side note, but this is kind of what we do on this channel at this point. There was a law, and it's called the Law of Reciprocity. The Law of Reciprocity is if somebody gives you something, you want to give them something in return. I'll give you an example. If waitresses put a mint on the table when they hand you the bill, they get a 5% uptick in their tips. If they give you a mint on the same like little plate thing as the bill, they got an 8% uptick. If the waitress gives the bill with 1 mint, leaves it on the table, walks away, then walks back and puts another mint, they get 11% more tips. It's the law of reciprocity. It's like when you give something, you get something back. And I think that that's how a lot of these big streamers work with their subs. You know how when they gift, they say, oh, I'm gonna gift like 50 subs, right? So they gift 50 subs to themselves. A lot of the big streamers get more than half of the money back anyway, right? And of course they would pay taxes on it, right? But basically if they pay 100 to themselves, they get back like close to like 65, 70, right? And then the people who receive those subs, sometimes they gift more subs. Like they'll pass it on, or they'll continue their sub. And it's this reciprocity thing. I think it's like a real thing that people don't like talk about or know about. Alright, fireplace poker.
Let's see. First and tap.
Alright. We put the jug in here, return the thing, there's a sample. I don't know why this part's in the game.
Got it! Now I know what that liquid consists of. I'll write it down in my notes. A swamp slime. It's all the same. It's the exact same liquid again. There's something about that.
It's when she said
slime.
when she said the law thing. When she said the law thing and like you know, they don't respect the law. I was gonna say the only law I don't respect is the laws of physics, but then it sounded stupid, so then I went and told that story. I don't know how I fucking... Dude, my stream's a joke. I just talk random shit. Alright, Sally's legs is proof that Lady Weybridge has magical powers. No. The fireplace poker... Is it gonna be the Weybridge's cauldron? No. The black leggings and the fireplace poker are covered in swamp slime.
The black leggings found at the crime scene and the fireplace poker are covered in the same swamp slime. Oh, that doesn't make sense, does it?
It does! The fuck?
The fireplace
Fucking
poker
hell! You just have to flip them!
And the black leggings are covered in the same swamp slime. Sally's leggings. They link her with the crime scene. I'll have to ask her about it.
Alright, let's go talk to Sally.
What?
I have a theory that the murderer was wearing a costume. A homemade outfit designed
Still
to
don't
look
have
like the
part
swamp
3 of the
creature.
costume though.
I've never seen anything so ridiculous. You've never seen me in that.
I know it's not exactly the latest fashion, but...
No, you'd never see me in that. It would cover me up entirely.
That's the point of a disguise?
Look, detective. When you have legs like mine, you don't want to be wearing disguises.
Is that why you always wear those black leggings?
You've only just met me and you're making assumptions about what I always wear.
And making assumptions is the fun part of being a detective.
Well, you're right. I always wear these.
So what can you tell me about your relationship with Richard Remington?
I didn't have one. I think I spoke to him
But she's
twice,
employed by him.
Ever. He usually seemed really busy,
Right.
but more like preoccupied.
Preoccupied? Like he was thinking about something else? Something that wasn't this tourist attraction?
Who can say? What do old men think about?
What? Are you implying that I know the answer to that?
Is she calling me old?
The black leggings you found in your bag this morning. They're covered in the same slime that was on the murder weapon.
Everything in this swamp is covered in slime. What's your angle, Grimoire?
This slime is different. Your black leggings are part of the costume. The exact slime hasn't been found anywhere. I have proof that you were wearing them during the murder.
Your black leggings were part of the
They're part of
murderer's
the costume. Is the only thing I can
Costume?
confirm.
Is that why someone took them out of my bag last night?
Well, you know, I don't have proof someone else took them.
If I had been wearing them when I committed a crime, do you think I would hand them over to a detective the second he shows up? Besides, look at them. What do you notice?
They're stretched.
They're loose and stretched.
Yeah, the
That's right,
buttons
someone
are
else.
stretched.
Someone larger than me has worn these. They're stretched out, especially at the waist. It's pretty obvious.
So, let's see. Somebody stole them to use in their boggy costume, and then put them back in your
It
bag
has to be
when they were
Echo,
done?
If you say so. It's not my job to know all the details. It's my job to sell souvenirs. Do you want a souvenir?
Oh, my, yes.
The mug.
But only if you choose one for me.
You look like you could use something to wind up. You can take this one.
Nice. Y'all ready for this? Fucking hell. It's a Blizzard Murloc Funko Pop. Small plastic toy sold at the gift shop has the cartoony appearance of Boggy. Boggy's feet are hidden underwater. Cool. Let me present the pronger.
Is that one of your clues?
Let me present Echo.
Yeah, I have a pretty good view of him from here. Anyone supporting animal rights is okay in my book. His protest used to have a bit more energy, though. He spends more time inside his tent these days.
What's he doing in there?
I'm happy to say, I don't know.
There might be something I can ask Echo about.
Echo spends less time holding the protest sign and more time in his tent.
Echo spends less time holding the protest sign and more time in his tent. I wonder if Echo can tell me what he's been doing that's more important than his protest.
See this little percentage on the left for the profiles? We're at 90%. 90%.
Is that one of the other more suspicious?
I don't think we're gonna get 100% in this game though. So what do we have left to even do? This will be Echo's last piece of evidence. And some other people are missing evidence as well. But I guess this is the main thing.
I heard you've been spending less time protesting recently and more time, in your tent. Normally I wouldn't pry, but it's my job to ask.
Untouched people have even noticed something like that. I usually get the impression everyone else is doing their best to ignore me.
So, you admit it's true?
You can put your notebook away. There isn't really any reason for it. Nothing worth writing down, at least.
Well, if it's not worth writing down, maybe it's worth hearing.
In that case, you'd forget it.
How do you know? Maybe it would echo in my mind.
Look, if you take a guess and get it right, I promise not to deny it.
Let's work out why Echo was hidden away in his tent. Notebook time.
Alright. Is it because it's raining? I have a silly nickname. Is it because of the ghost from Haunt the House? Taxes? Or the spooky monster? Say the monster.
You've been in your tent, hiding from Boggy.
Why not?
Is that right?
And more time. Normally
Alright, we're gonna skip this and see if we can answer it again.
Howdy. You've been in your tent because it's been raining!
Why not?
It keeps saying challenge complete, as if it's the right answer, but it's not. Is it taxes?
You've been hiding in your tent from the tax man!
Why not?
Is this right or no? It's like I can do it with every single one of them.
You've been hiding in your tent because the swamp is haunted!
Why not?
Okay, so there's no correct answer.
I'm impressed someone managed to pitch a tent here, and I'm impressed someone would want to.
Oh,
it's
shit.
a colorful, boggy-themed padlock. He's staring into my soul. It should open if I set the right number.
We don't have a number from anywhere. Also, it kind of makes a frog noise. See? Is it boob? We could brute force this, but it will take a long time. Yeah, we don't have this.
Oh?
Present a clue. Let's present the wind-up toy.
I'm afraid I have...
We could go back and talk to the cafe dude. We haven't spoken to him in a while. Yeah.
You said you knew Remington?
He and I knew each other for a long time. I came to work at his tourist attraction in the early days, when he needed help.
Well, what kept you here?
I know most people wouldn't want to work in a place like this. I actually like it here, so I was happy to oblige.
You might like it, but I still don't see why anyone would build a tourist attraction here.
Mr. Remington has his reasons. He probably had several. I don't presume to know what they all were. Even though we were friends, he had some secrets, some hobbies. that I was happy to let him keep secret.
Secrets? Hobbies? A secret hobby?
He was a man with a dream. I can tell you that much.
I want to present the hunting photo.
One of Mr. Remington's secrets. I never wanted to know the details, but these men travel the world, seeking mysterious animals to hunt.
That gave us 5%.
They consider myths and legends to be the ultimate prey.
That literally gave us 5%.
Why don't you...
So I guess it's worthwhile
It's Mr.
showing everything to
Remington's
everybody.
fireplace poker. This slime on the handle. It's familiar for some reason.
We're still missing a journal. This journal is going to be from the house with the padlock. Alright, let's go to the Bog Witch again. I want to present her with something. I want to present her with the hunting photo.
I recognize some of those men. Unfortunately, they've hunted in the swamp before.
Before it became a protected area?
Before that, yes. And one of them after that.
I don't think we're going to get... We're not going to get the broken thing, this thing, from talking to her. It needs to be somebody else, right?
They're samples of flowers that grow in this area. 2 of them you don't see very much anymore. And one of them only grows around the museum.
Okay. Now, if you're stuck in the game, you can go back to the dock and talk to that guy. But I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna go and talk to... Yeah, Vanderpeer. It's Vanderpeer, right?
I don't really have time to be... You won't be getting very far discussing that with me.
Alright, what about I talk to Echo about the leggings?
Ah!
Feels like I'm done talking to him.
Show it to somebody.
Looks like...
Alright. What about this? We go east to west, and we look to see if it says, am I done talking with them all? Okay, they're now off the list. And then the museum guy said that as well, right? Yeah, it feels like I'm done talking to him. Alright, done talking to the cafe dude. I guess it is just the Bog Witch. Yeah, even Sally.
Is that one of your clues?
Fuck. Alright, we have to talk to the Bog Witch. Maybe the thing that breaks her is something that we can present her.
You can put that away.
So she doesn't like the photo of Boggy.
No, thank you.
She doesn't like the footage.
This is a 60-year-old journal.
Oh, because she's been here 60 years.
I know what it is.
I thought you might. I'm supposed to look to the past, right?
That little girl was living in the swamp when the swamp creature was discovered 60 years
That
ago.
little girl was living in the swamp when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorers 60 years ago.
Oh. I think you're meant to say Lady Weybridge, but I'm pretty sure that Lady Weybridge is the little girl. Because it said look to the past to solve the future, and I'm pretty sure the little girl is a ghost, right?
Lady Weybridge
Like,
was
it has
living
to
in the
be.
swamp
That's the
when
meme.
the swamp creature was discovered by the explorers 60 years ago. Lady Weybridge. She was living here when Boggy was first discovered by the explorer.
Challenge! Get challenged,
I've been
bitch.
looking into the history of this place.
Oh, really? Did you find anything?
Yeah. You.
You must be confused. You found me today when you barged into my house. Remember?
You were living in the swamp when the explorer visited 60 years ago. You created the myth of the swamp creature yourself to scare people away. You were the original founder of the tourist attraction.
You were already
It's
living
not
in the
that she
swamp when the
created
explorer
it.
came here
I think
60
it's
years
real.
ago.
There is a real
The
boggy.
explorer? That man they talk about in the museum?
The one who originally discovered Boggy. You know who I'm talking about. His sketches and notes are the only real evidence we have for this creature.
You already have his journal. You learned to read, I
But
assume.
we don't have the missing
What else do
page.
you
There's one page missing. I need you to tell me if the journal is fake. I think you wrote something in the journal yourself. There's a page missing.
There's a page.
Yeah, there was a
missing from the
page
journal.
missing like 2.5 hours
I think
ago.
you know where it is.
Why on earth would I know something like that?
Because you were the only person here when the explorer visited the swamp. I have a suspicion that the swamp creature wasn't the only thing he discovered.
You're suggesting he gave me a page from the back of his journal. Or what, that I stole it?
You took it from the journal in the museum. You stole it from him before he left the swamp. Or I really have no idea. I'm gonna say I have no idea.
I really have no idea. If I could see it, I might be able to make up my mind.
It doesn't belong in a museum. It belongs here, with me.
She does have
You
it.
understand?
Quick, tackle her.
What if I
pull
promise
out
I'll
your gun?
return it after I finish clearing up this mess?
Then I'll show it to you.
It's
Is this
her.
you?
When
He
she
drew
was
you into
hot.
his journal? It's beautiful.
Booba.
60 years ago, yes. He left the page with me. We agreed the rest of the world would manage without it.
I think there's something on the back. What's this?
His legs.
Footprints.
They don't match the footprints of the creature. They have one toe facing backwards and the other two facing forwards. Whereas our boggy doesn't.
He drew me into his journal. I was 20 years old. That's the end of the story.
I bet it's not. Does this explorer have a name?
Yes?
Are you going to tell me?
No.
Fuck!
If you bring me something with...
Alright, I think we're done. We're done talking to her.
I think it's time I went to talk to Officer James.
But I only have 98%. And my notes, the beginning of the end, chapter 4. Yeah, this is my notes, and I only have 66%. My evidence is 94%, which is strange, because I have every piece. Like, all of this is filled in. Huh.
A little blanket on a little bed in a little house. It makes very little sense. I'm in...
Oh!
There's a whole load of needles and wool on that shelf. Or should I say yarn? I just don't know anymore.
The bottom percent is just the things you've clicked on and, like, looked at. It's not really necessarily,
The owner of this house seems to enjoy reading.
related to the case.
Though, I'm not sure what else there is to do up here, actually.
Yeah, you just get percentage for clicking on stuff.
Check out that sunlight beaming through the window. It's so bright I should have brought my sunglasses.
Yeah, I was looking to see if there was going to be any green powder here, because there was green food poisoning powder on the hot dog. It would make sense that she poisoned the hot dog. I think it's time to visit Officer James. You know what, before we do that, I'm still missing one thing for Echo. Yeah, and I'm still missing one thing for this guy. Can we say that Remington's not suspicious?
Not suspicious? Suspicious. Suspicious.
This is suspicious, but it's not suspicious of
Suspicious. Suspicious.
It's not suspicious of Remington. It's suspicious that, like, that these things exist. You know what I mean? Like, Remington belonged to a group of hunters who seek out mysterious creatures. Is this suspicious? Yes, because it's related to the case and it's probably why he was murdered, right? But does it bring suspicion on Mr. Remington? No. So should it be not suspicious? is it even worth clicking those things? The game doesn't tell you to click those things.
Hey. Hey.
What? What?
Hey.
What?
Hey.
Alright. Let's go. Actually, no. I want to try one more time. I have some more stuff to give this guy, right? To see if he can tell me stuff.
I'm afraid I have no idea.
He doesn't know anything about the missing page.
What?
Oh.
You're not a bad detective.
Well, I found the photo in Remington's office. It was
He's
ripped up,
one of the
though.
hunters.
I think he was some kind
He
of...
was a lot of things.
Echo's one of the hunters. That's why he has the
that
camouflage
picture.
hat.
And show it to Mr. Harper before you leave.
Mr. Harper? Hold on. I can't look at the evidence myself, right? Can I? I can. There's nobody there that looks like him. Though, right?
So,
Show the photo to Harper before you leave? Alright. I think I already did though, right? Because he already said, like... Yeah, I've already done that.
That's Mr. Remington's old hunting rifle. He usually keeps it around. For whatever reason. He was very fond of that thing. Looks like it was fired recently.
Do you think that the reason the protester's been in his tent is because he's wounded and he can't hold up the sign as much because he's like... He's been injured?
Show it to somebody else.
There has to be some more shit here, right?
No thanks. I'm afraid
There has to be some more shit.
Show it.
Looks like...
Alright, hold on. Let me show Vanderpeer some stuff.
I don't really have time. You won't be getting very...
Nobody seems to care about this missing journal page. Hold on! The guy at the museum, he will love the missing journal page. Right?
is that the missing page of the journal?
I think so.
It's an important
Got
artifact.
him.
It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, you're not wearing the right hat to be saying that.
It belongs in a museum as the Indiana Jones
An
thing.
important piece of the puzzle. This journal is a key to unlocking the history of this.
Alright.
I've never seen
I don't think he wants to see anything else.
a good example of how Boggy's feet are never shown in any form. They often use that little red bucket to hide them.
He gave me 1%.
This is just a piece of junk they sell to tourists.
He gave me another
It has
1%.
no resemblance to the real creature. I have no interest in some. Well, this design is some bizarre.
Why does showing some things to some people give you a percent and some doesn't?
Actually, this is a classic example of a cryptid photograph.
What's a cryptid?
A creature unknown to science. Look at the slight blurring in this photo, the murky exposure. It's perfect.
It's perfect because it can't really be used as evidence?
Now you're catching on.
So we're now 100% for clues, and we're 99% for presenting profiles.
Are you asking about the cartoon character? Because I have no interest in such childish matters.
No, I think I'm
Shit.
asking about the actual creature. What's the difference
And then
anyway?
clicking stuff on the map, we're only 72. We're never gonna get that. There's no way I'm gonna be able to click on enough stuff
Apparently,
to get
it's a poster from
72%
the old
up to
Bongo cartoon
100.
show.
Hold on. This is... When is this? Is this 1965? What is this? 1965, right? 70? 75? 65? I think this is 1965 in Roman numerals.
Copyright MCM XXX. That'll be 19...
Oh, 3 and 4.
1934.
Oh, because the numbers aren't before the M. I thought you took things away. 1934 has to be the thing, right? On his... It has to be. It has to be 1934. I feel like we're getting a secret for doing this.
It's a journal. I guess it belongs to Echo. Bad news. Remington is dead. I don't know what to do. Was my whole protest in vain? They'll shut this place down, sure, but I'll never know if I got through to him. That's all he's written.
Oh, shit.
There's...
Oh?
Can I talk to him about that? There's nothing really to show, right? Yeah, there's no extra thing to present.
The murder victim.
Since last night, yeah. But he was the owner of Boggy's Bog. Did you know him?
Not personally. To be honest, I'm quite glad about it.
So Echo didn't kill him.
I'm afraid
Echo couldn't have killed him because he wrote Remington is dead, but I'll never know if I got through to him, so it wasn't his... Unless he did kill him, but he just wanted to scare him, and he ended up killing him by accident. I really don't know what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna present. Let's talk to Officer James.
You finally returned.
Did I find the creature? I didn't find him.
I didn't find him.
What? You're not getting paid to wander about aimlessly, Grimoire. Get back out there.
The case can't be solved.
I don't need to.
I don't need to. Final chapter, Boggy's criminal record.
Why not? I thought he was our prime suspect.
Well,
I feel like I'm gonna fuck up.
Didn't you find photographic evidence of Boggy from last night? Let me see that photo.
Present the photo.
If that's not Boggy, what is it?
Somebody in a costume.
I found designs for the costume in a trash can. Not only that, I collected all the pieces of the costume myself. Well, nearly all of them.
Apart from the
There's
body.
Still the one that...
But the footprints at the scene of the crime! How can you prove these don't belong to a real creature?
Because of the final page.
What's this? I thought there were no records of a footprint anywhere.
No public records. The footprints at the crime scene don't match the ones on this page.
I'm not gonna fuck up.
They were just a product of these slippers.
I still don't know who it is, though.
But Grimoire, this costume, it doesn't have claws of any kind. How do you explain the 3 wounds on the victim's chest?
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't Remington that killed himself. It wasn't Folder. It wasn't the witch lady. It wasn't the cameraman. It wasn't Vanderpeer. It wasn't the guy that owns the cafe. It wasn't Sally and it wasn't Echo. It was nobody.
The prongs match up with the wounds perfectly. The handle's even covered in slime, see?
But this swamp slime was one of the reasons Boggy became a suspect in the first place. Surely this only incriminates the creature further.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But that slime, it's not exactly what you think. This stuff is an uncanny resemblance to the so-called swamp slime. A bunch of it was stolen from the storeroom of the cafe, which reminds me.
What is that exactly?
Bog dog.
A poisoned hot dog. It's the second reason that the murderer broke into the storeroom. He put this green powder on the entire supply, just to make sure.
To make sure of what?
To make sure Remington got ill and had to return.
Make sure Remington got ill and had to return to his office.
Remington went back to his office? Alone?
Final chapter, the murder.
I've been looking through your evidence, Grimoire. One piece in particular seems critical to me. I think we need to work out.
Video footage? Vincent Vanderpeer filmed it last night.
Oh, I know this. I worked this out like 2 hours ago.
Murder, I believe.
Well, exactly. I think we can both agree these sounds in the background. They're essential in our mystery. Could you talk me through them?
He creaked
Just
to the
rearrange the descriptions on the left to match the sounds on the right. Drag them around and keep swapping until you're happy with the order.
When we turned the game on at the very beginning, it said that they recommend headphones for the game because sound is going to be essential. But sound hasn't really had a big part in the game at all, apart from this puzzle. So I think this is going to be the thing. But it's not really as if like somebody who's deaf can't play this, because they have onomatopoeia for the sounds, like creaking, ripping, thud, clang.
And if you want to hear the sounds again, you can tap on them.
Yeah, if you're hard of hearing or deaf, you wouldn't have a problem with this.
I can always check my case file if I want to go over my notes.
Okay, Remington rips off the curtains is the ripping. Duh. Remington cries out as Boggy appears. That's the outcry here. He falls backwards is the FUD. The culprit opening the door is the first clang. And then the blast is the rifle. So it's creaking. Culprit opened Remington's door would be the creak. The scream. He shoots. Culprit drops the metal poker. An outcry. That's him falling. Rips the curtain. Oh. The clang is him grabbing it.
I think that's it.
That's it.
Ah, excellent. There's just two small details bothering me. First of all, if Remington ripped off a piece of his curtains, why wasn't it found at the crime scene? What happened to it?
It got stuffed into the helmet.
Turns out the murderer took that piece of fabric and concealed it inside the head of the costume. Then he fled the crime scene to hide all the parts in different areas of the swamp.
Ah, well, that's my problem. If Remington fired his rifle, how did the assailant survive and manage to escape? Did Remington miss his target?
At point blank? A man of his experience? I don't think so. In fact, the answer to that question is the very last link in our chain.
I thought it was going to have something to do with the...
me so far.
The
I'll drag the
tree.
clue items from the left onto my drawing here, and we'll see what happens when we compare the pieces I collected with the original design I found.
Oh, this is just simple. This is just that, like, you know, that we're missing the chest piece. The chest piece has to be in the hollow tree.
Wait, you never found the body piece, the torso.
It probably has a hole in it, and it's probably...
You're right,
you know.
And I never would have found it. Not lying around. Not like the others.
Why didn't we actually look in there? Why didn't we just go get, like, a flashlight or a torch or a candle or something?
What does this have to do with the murderer surviving the rifle shot?
This torso is probably made out of some thick material. Something covering the culprit's entire upper body. I believe it may have even been enough to
soften the impact from a bullet. Aha!
Exactly.
Well, let's put your theory to the test. Where is that last piece of the costume?
It's on the crossroads.
Where is that last piece of the costume?
Huh?
Where is...
how am I getting this wrong? It is. It's in the tree.
Where is...
What? It's in the tree on the crossroads.
How?
Oh,
we looked everywhere. Not
it's
a
Echo.
single clue.
Echo's wearing it.
Simple. He's still wearing it.
It was Echo, but why did Echo write... Why did he write in his journal the thingy's dead? Did he write that as a red herring?
I don't know what you want with me. Sounds like you two were smart enough to uncover the real criminal in this swamp.
I thought it was him, but then I said no.
Somebody else
because of the journal.
You worked it out. He had his rifle on him. He got half a glance at me and pulled the trigger without hesitation.
But why would he do that? You were dressed as Buggy. He shouldn't be pointing his gun at a unique scientific specimen.
Because he wanted to hunt
mention
Buggy.
his main attraction.
You're right. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, does it? Not unless you're in on the secret.
Echo was framed because... Richard was here to hunt Boggy.
Echo was framed because Richard Remington was here to hunt Boggy. Oh, that a
What
secret
does make
that Remington
sense?
kept hidden in his office.
Was Boggy in disguise?
Echo was framed because Richard Remington was Boggy in disguise.
What? Was eaten by Boggy.
Echo was framed because Richard Remington was eaten by Boggy. What is that?
Okay. My hat was framed. Alright, the hunting photo leads me to believe Richard Remington was here to hunt Boggy.
The hunting photo leads me to believe Richard Remington was here to hunt Boggy. A secret society, an order of hunters, seeking out mysterious and elusive
The bog dog
creatures.
is proof.
The order goes further than this one man, and much further than this one swamp.
The whole thing is kind of distressing. I knew something was wrong as soon as I stepped into that office.
I'm glad you've finally come around. It's not just
But what about Remington? He was a member of this order?
He made Boggy his own personal project, his own obsession. For years he hunted the creature, the potential perfect addition to his collection.
But he owned the tourist attraction. He set it up himself, didn't he?
He did. It was just his way of forming a legal loophole. Since the area became protected, he and his friends were unable to come here for hunting anymore. Boggy's Bog was just a front for his own little game. A man pursuing a creature.
And then the money got stopped. I was right when I said that in the office.
That's why Remington kept a rifle nearby at all times?
Yeah, and the money got stopped, so he had to take the money from Vanderveer.
Any chances?
Now, don't you see? I did this place a service.
Or the reason Remington allowed Vanderveer to come to film for Boggy is because he wanted proof that Boggy existed so that Remington could tell the secret society to keep, coming to hunt.
Did Boggy a service. That creature, he can live in peace again.
Can he? You tried to frame him for murder. You wanted everyone to think he was some kind of ruthless predator?
Well, think about it. Once he became suspected of murder, they'd have no choice but to shut this whole place down. Everyone would finally realize they had no business here.
But he's not a killer. You didn't have the right. How can you know what Boggy wanted?
How can you know what Boggy wanted? He might not be what you're...
Detective.
You. It's
finished.
The witch.
Well, don't be angry. You should be glad. It's finally time to leave the swamp. You have another job to do.
I don't know.
Not that it makes any difference to somebody like you, but I never intended to kill him. Just to scare him. Convince him Boggy wasn't going to let him live here in peace any longer. But, true to form, he had his rifle on him. You worked out the rest yourself.
You're right. It doesn't make any difference.
Well, Mr. Everstone, I'm afraid you'll still have to come with us. Fortunately, there's a police station just a few miles down.
Hey, wait!
He's running! He's going in the tree! The real Boggy! What the fuck? He's wearing the peanut body like I said. What up, Boggy? Look at Boggy's feet. Doesn't even have a bucket. This game fucking rocks, dude. This game is so good. It's so silly. I'm glad I finally played this. It's been on my list for like 6 months. 8 months.
More than one mystery tonight.
I still think that the little girl is a ghost. I still think the little girl is the bog witch from the past. Maybe from even before Richard came. Because Richard came when she was 20, right? So maybe that's her when she's like 10 or 9. Before Richard came and ruined it. And before the Explorer came. These credits go way too fast. Give your people some credit, dude. Those were so quick. Alright. Well,
Grimoire.
The game's done.
Well, what did they decide to do?
We had Mr. Everstone questioned. He was happy to tell us everything he knew. A number of rumors going around the department have been confirmed.
And Remington's office?
Searched, down to the last detail. And, well, we agree with you, but I know what you're thinking. I'd love to put an end to it, just the same as you. But there's always...
Are we going after them?
We'd better be.
So, the game actually is continued. 5 years after this game, they released a sequel. I don't know if the sequel has anything to do with the story in this game, as in like Boggy, or if it just goes to the hunters, I don't know. But there is a sequel to this game. It's very similar looking, and it came out 3 years ago. Maybe we'll play it at some point. But as for now, I think we're done. That was pretty good though. It was like very simple puzzles, very simple problem solving, and the game guided you a lot. There was a hint system. We could have went back to talk to the detective in the boat if we ever got stuck. It also hinted at the bottom whether or not you still had stuff to talk to a suspect about. So, it's very, very casual. But it was good, right? It was worth the like $1.50 I paid or whatever it was. I think it was like £1.50 for a 3-hour meme game. Oh my god. The bog dog, the swamp juice. Pretty good. Pretty good game. Alright. 1 hour from now, Saints Row unlocks on Epic Game Store. And we're gonna play it tomorrow. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Until then, though, good night. Thanks for watching. Don't let the bog bug bite. Good night. Boggy was innocent.